It's got a little firefighter badge,
And
little
in 5,
sticker badge.
Why is it
4,
so late today?
3, 2, 1. Roll the open.
Hello, everybody. It's time for Breeders' Cup weekend. Wow, what? I can't believe it. I can't believe it. I know the lighting isn't that good right now. I'll get that a little bit better in a minute. But yes, it's Breeders' Cup Friday, Future Stars Friday. We have 5 big Breeders' Cup juvenile races today. We're going to start off with the juvenile turf sprint in about 15 minutes. Tell you what, why don't I get the track video up on the screen here in a minute? Nick will be here a little bit later. I'm Gerald. We have, like I said, we had 5 juvenile races today. We're going to throw out some crazy stuff today. We're going to give you a little bit of help as far as wagering goes, and we're going to tell you about some of the sites that are offering specials. So let me get the track video up just so we aren't missing anything. We won't have any sound right now. I'm just going to leave that up there. But yeah, we've got 5 races today. Tomorrow, we're also going to be doing Breeders' Cup Saturday in 3 different parts. They have had some issues with the streaming, the internet streaming from Del Mar today. So if it gets too bad, we might cut out early, or if it continues bad tomorrow, we might make shorter shows. But as of right now, we're go. So we're going to see what happens here. There may be times where there's some silence, just because it's going to be a long day and there's going to be 20 to 25 minutes between each race. But thank you for joining in. The first race today is the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Turf Sprint. It is a really good betting race. And we did have one scratch in there, the 2. Let me get to the screen here so I can see. It was the 2 military code. I actually like this one. This one had William Buick aboard for Charles Appleby, and I love using Charles Appleby in this race. So one of the things I've been doing the last few years for Breeders' Cup is kind of going on trends. And so I've been tracking the last maybe 5, 6, 7, 8 years of each race and kind of building trends, and then using some of the tips that ExpressBet gives. And then I sit there and look, is this a type of race that pays well? If it is, I bet more or less depending on what the situation is. But this is a good betting race. It's a newer event. It's started in 2018. The Euros have won 4 straight. And they fill a lot of the superfecta slots. So if you're playing superfectas, that is something you want to consider. I think 3 years in a row they've filled 3 of the 4 spots. Well, they have had wire-to-wire winners 4 of the last 7 years. I'm sorry, 4 of the last 7 years. Last year was from mid-pack. Wesley Ward, as I mentioned, has done really well. He's won the last 3 of the 6 years, although he has a scratch this year, so he won't be in it. Many of the winners had 3 or fewer starts. Has been increasing a little bit the last couple of years to 4 and 5. But there's always been €1 in each superfecta. Irad Ortiz has done really well in this race. And then I always look in this race to see if there's any locally based runners. And there is one that I really like that actually got in, the 13. We'll talk a little bit about that in a minute. But if there's 2 right now that I really like, it's True Love and Havana Anna, the 8 and 9. So I'm going to single those 2 on top in a 10-cent superfecta, and then pay a bunch of others underneath, and I'll share that info for you. Just to give you an idea, there's quite a few specials going on at different wagering sites, and I take advantage of those at all times. I belong to several sites that I wager on. Twin Spires has $10 money back specials on all 5 races today. DK Horse also has $10 money back specials on all 5 races. FanDuel Racing has $10 money back specials on the 6th, 7th, 8th, and 10th race. And then they're offering a $5 no sweat win bet on race 9, where you make a bet. If it doesn't win, you get you get a credit back of $5. Caesars Racebook is also offering 20% exacta boost, so I'm taking advantage of that. And then later today, Naira Bets is offering a $20 money back special in the race 7 and race 9. That's only for if your horse finishes in second. The other money backs are if your horse finishes in second and third. So Naira Bets, their $20 money back is only if the horse finishes second. And then I believe Express Bet is offering hit 6 exactas in a combination of Friday and Saturday races, and you get to split a pot. TVG, one of my other sites that I use, has no offers. The last time I checked, so I won't be using them. It's going to be mostly Twin Spires, DK Horse, FanDuel Racing, and then some of my exactas are going to go through Caesars Racebook. So just a couple of tips there if you're wagering today. I'll open up the chat here. Oh, we got a little problem with the stream already. Let me get that going again. It has been really
beginning with the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Turf Sprint. Let's meet the field, starting with Brussels.
He's a horse you can count on. He's extremely consistent. He's got high-class form.
Let's see what they have to say about these.
The 3 Royal Testament comes in for George Weaver off a second in the Matron. The filly had previously won back-to-back races.
Next up will be Aspect Island, Frankie Dettori riding. James Owen's first Breeders' Cup runner. This horse actually ran a career best last time out, but it was just behind Brussels, so he has to improve a little bit more.
If you like Schwarzenegger, you have to respect the 5 Obliteration, who was just a half length behind him on the wire in the Indian Summer. Steve Asmussen sends him out with Jose Ortiz, never worse than second.
Next is Intricate Spirit for Miguel Clement, a horse who's clearly got a fair bit of ability, but looking at some of the best of his form, I'm just worried about whether or not it quite matches up to some of the others.
Mission Central comes in off just 2 weeks in between starts for Aidan O'Brien. He does have a little turn of foot out of the gate and does have a top Irish champion jockey, young Dylan McMonagle.
And here is my pick, Havana Anna. She ran a really fine race behind True Love in the Cheveley Park Stakes. That was over 6 furlongs, dropping back to 5 will suit her.
This is my pick, True Love. I think the performance at Royal Ascot sold me in the Queen Mary, a big win over Lenny Lou, who finished 3rd that day, but also coming back off a victory today.
If there is indeed a fast pace in this race, it will suit this horse, Cyfair, who closes well.
And Schwarzenegger will be the one to provide it if all goes well off the break. Coming off the win in the Indian Summer, lightly raced, but improving for Wesley Ward.
Lenny Lou, I think, might be the pick of the domestic runners. She obviously went to Ascot and ran really well behind True Love, and she's got good form here.
And 13, later than planned, draws in from the also eligibles for Phil D'Amato, winner of the Speakeasy at Santa Anita, going the 5 furlong trip. Very interesting play, who also will be coming on late.
That is the field that will contest the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Turf Sprint. The wagering menu on this race: win, play, show, exacta, trifecta, superfecta, super high 5 wagering, and then horizontally speaking, daily double, pick 3, and a start of the $1 pick 6, where the pool's at $2.2 billion. And don't forget about the all Breeders' Cup pick 5 that begins here as well. Lots of great wagering options, including the all turf pick 3. Don't forget about that one with the $3 minimum. That comprises races 6, 8, and 10. Joaquin?
Well, Terry Finley and West Point Thoroughbreds here with the 6 in Intricate Spirit. He's a Breeders' Cup Challenge winner, winning the Futurity in his most recent start. What did he show you that day at Aqueduct?
Well, I think it was a great race. Obviously, I love the program, and we set our sights on today. And I think everybody, we've been waiting for today, and everybody's here, and we're very proud to be part of the Breeders' Cup, and we think it'd be great to start the day off with a win.
He's never run this short, 5 furlongs. How does the 5.8 suit your horse today?
I think it really fit him. He ran at Kentucky Downs. He went a 6.5, and he got a little late. He kind of evened out the last part of it. So I think 5.8s will be perfect. But man, there's speed from all over the world here. So I would imagine the break's going to be pretty important today.
Thank you, Terry. Good luck to you and the team.
You got it, Joaquin. Thank you.
And Caton, assessing that Kentucky Downs form is going to be key to a lot of these turf races that we're looking at. A lot of horses did either prep there or had run there before having another start coming to the Breeders' Cup. But it hasn't resulted in a lot of winners at the Breeders' Cup having raced there.
For me, works a lot at Kentucky Downs.
Yes.
I would say it is not necessarily a cause and effect that horses who have run at Kentucky Downs have not fared well at the Breeders' Cup, but rather circumstantial. If you think that the majority of those horses that ran there ran in turf races that were won by Europeans, and there have been very few Europeans to compete at Kentucky Downs, you're going to have that type of statistic. I also feel like some horses like it, some don't. It's all related to the individual horse. If a horse shows up at Kentucky Downs, doesn't give a great effort, but then comes back and wins, as Intricate Spirit did.
Okay, I'll turn this down just a little bit as we wait for them to get a little bit closer to race time. Actually, I'm gonna completely mute it. So yeah, I do love this race as far as a betting race goes. I like the Euros in here, the 8 and the 9. The last race they ran together, it was quite a duel down the stretch, and I'm thinking that's going to be the same exact thing. So I'm going with Havana Anna and True Love to duel it out again. Would not be surprised if the 11 and the 12 were also in that mix. But those are my top two choices. I think they're, on paper, I think they're clearly better than the other horses. They both competed in grade or class 2 races in Europe. You know, it's a fast 5 furlong race. Anything could happen from the start to throw things off. And for that reason, I'm doing something this year. It's a little crazy, but this year I'm taking the bottom 4 choices in the betting options and I'm boxing them in an exacta, just a small $1 exacta box for $12. But there was a couple of times the last few years where I say, well, I should start doing that. And I'm going to do it this year. I have the bankroll this year to be a little careless. And it's kind of a fun way. It's kind of a fun to bet some of the long shots. So I'm going to do that. But yeah, my top choices, the 8, 9, the 11, and 12. My 10-cent super box that I'm using is 8 and 9 on top. And then underneath in the superfecta slots, I'm using 5, 6, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. I really like the 13 drawing in here to hit somewhere on either 3rd or 4th in the superfecta. And at 40 to 1, that's going to really help the odds, especially if 8 and 9 finish 1-2. You know, they're 3 to 1 and 8 to 1. And then if the 11 is in there too, somewhere, that's 6 to 1. I'm going to need a boost. And let's see here. The 5 is 16 to 1. That would probably be pretty good in 3rd or even 2nd, actually. Because I just have the two 8 and 9s in 1st place. 2nd, 3rd, and 4th are wide open for me. 5, 6, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So that's my 10-cent super play. It's not too bad. It's about a $60 bet. And I will need that long shot to get in there because I think if single digit odds horses finish top 4, I'll probably be lucky to get my money back, to be honest with you. So that's my play here. I like it. I did box the 8, 9, 11, 12 in a $10 exacta, trying to hump up a little bit, trying to start off to get some money in the positive direction the first race. I've had really good luck in the first race on Friday Breeders' Cup, and I'm sticking with my trends, and I'm going that route, betting a little bit more. So yeah, we'll see what happens. Nick is not here right now. He will be here later. I think he'll be here in possibly the 7th race, but maybe the 8th. I know he's got to pick up his daughter, so we'll see Nick here. I know he's got some feelings, especially on the juvenile. Just some really good races, betting races. Again, I'm throwing a lot at you right now, and thank you for joining. But there will be some times where it's quiet, where I'm thinking, where I'm making picks, and then I'll think out loud and share them with you. But feel free to type something in the chat, and share with me, as the horses now are about a minute away from this 5-furlong opening Breeders' Cup race, the Juvenile Turf Sprint. I'm going to put the audio up a little bit here. I don't think there's any track audio. Again, they've had some streaming issues. I don't think it's on my end. I tested my internet twice today, and it seems like I'm pulling down 500 megabyte speed. That shouldn't be a problem, but yesterday there was quite a few problems from Del Mar streaming on all the sites I was on. So I don't think it was one site, and I don't think it was me. I think it was Del Mar. So we'll see what happens. But if you're playing along today, good luck. If you're just watching, enjoy. Again, there's several ways to play economically on the 10-cent factor, or with 50-cent trifectas. You don't have to bet a lot. I've had some 10-cent superfectas pay as high as $3,500. I got lucky, and it was a fairly big ticket. It was about a $150 ticket, but I felt good about the race. It was actually a race a lot like this, where we had a bunch of Euros and US horses, and that's really where you get the payouts, because there's that big unknown on a lot of the Euro horse races, horses that you don't see enough to know, and they don't run against each other, so you just don't know how they're going to fare as far as results go. So in that terms, you got to be lucky. I mean, this game for the most part is 40% knowledge and 60% luck, in my opinion. Okay, looks like they're going into the gate.
The Breeders' Cup.
I'll let you, if you're betting, good luck.
Sprint.
I'm on the 8, 9, 11, and 12 exacta box. So I like
5
8 and 9 is
furlongs
probably my choice, and the
over this Del Mar
13
Oval.
is the long shot play in my superfecta. Good luck.
Right now, the favorite at 5-2. One of the 5 fillies in the field in True Love. As Brussels moves into the starting gate first. One of the other fillies, Havana Anna, stepping into line. Here's Royal Testament. True Love, one of the 3 Aidan O'Brien horses moving in. Aspect Island and Frankie Dettori stepping up to the gate. Cy-Fair moving into line. Schwarzenegger, the next one. Obliteration into the gate. Here's Intricate Spirit.
Get a lead up on him.
Just 3 left behind the starting gate here.
7 suck back. The good thing about
Central
watching here on this channel is
McMonagle aboard, going
you will
into
be
line.
almost 1 or 2 seconds within the actual start time.
Lou.
The network will be a few more seconds behind. Here we go.
Later than planned, the last one.
Come on,
Going
True
in.
Love and Havana Anna.
They're all in line. They're ready for the start. They're off in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Turf Sprint. Brussels slow to begin. A great beginning for Schwarzenegger. Cy-Fair's got speed, Obliteration on the inside, and Lenny Lou is away running in 4th behind them. An Intricate Spirit, followed by Aspect Island, who's in between horses. Moving up on their outside is Mission Central up the backstretch. Then Havana Anna. True Love is 5 deep as they move into the turn. Then Brussels later than planned, and Royal Testament at the back of the pack. Schwarzenegger on top as they make their way around the far turn. Cy-Fair 3/4 of a length behind. Obliteration is down toward the inside. Lenny Lou right there in contention in 4th. Aspect Island is 5th as they make their way to the top of the stretch with Schwarzenegger to catch. Cy-Fair now ranging up alongside, still under a hand right here, storms to the front. Brussels is rolling for the back of the pack. Aspect Island is there too, but it's Cy-Fair. Cy-Fair has it close to home from Brussels. Cy-Fair's a Breeders' Cup winner. Brussels was 2nd, Aspect Island was 3rd, and then came Obliteration.
Wow, that's going to pay well.
What a moment for Swinbank Stables and Medallion Racing. If you saw Cy-Fair up in Canada beat the boys in the Algonquin, she fit perfectly against the boys and girls today in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Turf Sprint, and her hallmark, Caton, is a strong finish. Once she was within contact of the leaders here, it was advantage Cy-Fair.
Absolutely beautiful position out of the gate, just tipped to the outside off of all the pace. Schwarzenegger carving out some solid enough fractions and still with the lead when they turn for home. But Irad Ortiz, who owns more wins than any jockey in this particular race, pushes the button and she responds beautifully.
All the while we were talking beforehand about how much pace there'd be and how Cy-Fair would be closing off that pace. Well, the position that Cy-Fair had early on in the race meant that she was in a great position to strike late on, and that's exactly what's unfolded. Brussels has run on really well for Christophe Soumillon, and Aspect Island has run a fabulous race. And of course, they were second and third last time they met, and they filled those 2 spots once again.
10-1-4, your top 3 finishers in here. It is Cy-Fair going off at 5-1 over the 1, Brussels at 6-1 over the 4, Aspect Island at 25-1. Caton, Mike Smith, a legend obviously in the sport, is still the leading rider as far as wins in the Breeders' Cup. But the guy chasing him, Irad Ortiz Jr., keeps closing with each race. He's got to win here.
And in this one of his strengths, I think, position in sprint races, combined with the strong finish, was on full display. I will say, from that outside post position, he was able to inherit a much more comfortable trip than some of the others. To your point, Rishi, the one Brussels,
Havana Anna and True Love, not the start I was hoping for. They got a bad break, in my opinion. And I think this was just the case where the U.S. horses just got a much better start. Brussels had a nice slot in the 1 spot, so was able to hold on there for second. Aspect Island, another Great Britain bred entry for third. I actually thought Schwarzenegger had a really good shot at this one.
Sheer joy through the running experience at the end.
Rishi, it's good thing you.
But struck out on that one. That's okay. It was. We got 4 more races to go.
Thank you.
But you would even admit.
And I'm going to go ahead and leave their audio up. I want to hear what they have to say. So.
Would have their best hope.
Of the 3 races today on the turf in the Breeders' Cup, this is the one that America, as we know, Wesley Ward with his 3 wins, and now here with George Weaver. True Love, this is a unique test for a lot of the European horses. True Love just didn't cope with that sharp 5 furlongs today. She is much better than that. We know that in comparison to Brussels and Aspect Island, they would consider her a much better horse on a conventional track. But this is why you've got to be able to travel and translate your skills. And if you can't do that, you'll be found out.
A continuation of a theme that we've been talking a lot about this fall in Stakes Company, the sire, not this time.
Yes.
Once again, with the victory.
And we also talk about Breeders' Cup moments for owners. Reagan Swinbank is the name behind Swinbank Stables. He came up with Jake Ballas. They still in his black type thoroughbreds. He is kind of branched out. And for him to get to this Breeders' Cup win this quickly is rather remarkable. It is Cy-Fair taking the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Turf Sprint.
Well, that should pay well with the...
Number 10, Cy-Fair was first. Second, number 1, Brussels. Third, number 4, Aspect Island. Fourth.
The 1 actually got a pretty bad break there, but it was able to save ground on the rail. Nice ride by Christophe Soumillon. Frankie Dettori closes out the trifecta. So it's Irad Ortiz over Christophe Soumillon and Frankie Dettori.
John Deere has been a longtime supporter of the equine industry. All Breeders' Cup breeders and owners are qualified to receive major John Deere discounts on select equipment, including lawn and garden tractors, compact utility tractors, utility vehicles, commercial mowing equipment, and much more. For details on the exclusive equine discounts provided,
I'll turn that audio down there. Okay, so race 1 is done here. The Juvenile Philly Turf goes to Cy-Fair with Irad Ortiz. I love Irad, and I'm surprised I didn't use him on top, but I had to go with my gut, and you know you can't bet everybody. You take shots, so that's just the way it is. The next race, race 7. The next race 7 is the Juvenile Fillies. This is a good race, and they actually have some good. I think they have a $20 money back special on Naira bets. If your horse finishes in second place that you pick to win, you get your money back. So I'll be taking advantage of that. We got Rascal coming in to join us here on the broadcast. Rascal, you're going to have to be quiet today. We're betting horses. Race 7 will have money back specials on Twin Spires, DK Horse, Fan Dual Racing, and then a $20 money back special for horses coming in second on Naira bets. So that's the specials here as I get Rascal moving along. So the Juvenile Fillies, I have it down as one of the better races to bet. Let me see. I don't think there were any scratches in the Juvenile Fillies. We'll check that out just to make sure. As of right now, yes, it's just a field of 9. Iron Orchard with Joel Rosario aboard on the number 1 is currently 6-1. Bottle of Rouge, 8-1 with Mike Smith aboard, the number 2. Number 3 is Meaning with Jose Ortiz aboard at 13-1. The 4 is Percy's Bar at 7-1 with Luan Machado. The 5, 7-2, Tommy Joe with Johnny V aboard. That's a Todd Fletcher entry. The 6 is a long shot, La Vie Lumiere, 62-1. It's a Michael McCarthy entry. The 7 is Explora with Juan Hernandez. Hernandez went down in race 5, so I haven't heard if he is out for this race or not. He's still listed as the jockey, so I'm assuming he will be on the 7 Explora at 2-1. That's a Bob Baffert entry. The 6 is Super Corredora. Hector Barrios rides at 7-1. And the 9 is La Wally with Flavian Pratt aboard for Mark Glatt. That's a locally based horse. It's 11-1. So I'm not checking to see if Nick is on his way. I don't see him in the chat yet. So the Juvenile Fillies, average winner over the years has been about 10-1. I don't look for a horse in that range, but you could bet any horse from say 7-1 to 12-1 and have a pretty good shot. But I look into it a little bit more. But if you're not looking to handicap, that's a good place to start. The Frizette is a great prep for this race. It's produced 5 winners. The Alcibiades is also another good one. Has three winners, as well as the Belmont preps. Those have been really good preps for this race. Again, I said average winner is about 10-1. That was before last year, which I think was a higher paying payout. Actually, no, that was was that Torpedeana? No, maybe she may have been a 3-year-old last year. The East and the Midwest runners have all won at Del Mar, at the Del Mar editions of this race in the Breeders' Cup. So you might want to use East preppers or Midwest preppers. California runners haven't won since 2016, so maybe you want to look the other way as far as it comes to a California runner. They have had about 6 of the last 13 win wire to wire. Horses up front often win this, which is kind of standard for a race at this distance. And then I tend to use undefeated fillies here. I think there's a couple in here I'll go over in a minute. And And I also look for high Brisnet numbers. But let's see if we can find which one are the undefeated fillies. The 1 Iron Orchard is an undefeated filly. The 5 Tommy Joe is an undefeated filly. So 1, the 5. I thought there was one more. No, just the 1 and the 5. So if you're looking that route, those are good choices. I know a lot of people like Tommy Joe with John Velasquez aboard. And then the 1 Iron Orchard seems to be a bit of a better price. You get Joel Rosario. That might be the way I'm going. That's the Frizette winner. That'll probably be one of my money backs, the 1 Iron Orchard. Let's see what the current odds are on the 1. One is holding at 6-1, it looks like.
Thanks to Reagan. He let us partner after her first race. Jake Ballas and Matt Miller, who aren't here, who helped pick the horse out. We're just very fortunate.
I'm going to turn this down just very low.
We're just super appreciative to George, Iran, and all the team.
So I'm going to look this over and then I'll get back to you. But yeah, the Juvenile fillies is the next race here. Coming up in about 26 minutes. So we'll have time. I'll break away, get some water, use the restroom once in a while. But I'll let you know here who my money back specials are and if I'm playing any other plays. And I'll get Rascal fed here.
Tomorrow we'll have more luck as well, but I want to thank everybody for what they've done for us.
Thank you for bringing it here. Thank you to all. Congratulations. Cy-Fair wins the first of 14 Breeders' Cup races. Brittany.
Ired does it again.
We are set fair down here.
Okay, it's a little quiet here, so maybe I can talk a little bit about this field. Iron Orchard, undefeated filly, a Frizette winner, has a good jockey, probably the best here in my opinion. I know a lot of people are sending money on the Baffert horse. Actually, he's 7-1. So the favorite right now looks to be Tommy Joe at 7-2. So this is, oh, I'm sorry, Explorer is the favorite at 9-5. The other Baffert entry. Baffert has 2 in here. The 2 Bottle of Rouge and the 7 Explorer. Now some people like to bet the other trainer's horse. In this case, it would be Bottle of Rouge. That's an angle some people like. The other entry gets overlooked sometimes. And you get Mike Smith aboard, who has several Breeders' Cup wins. Rascal really wants to get in here, so she might have to jump up here in a minute. But
I'm sorry. Back to my original thought.
Oh my God!
New customers bet $5 and get $300 in bonus bets if you win.
The 3 Meaning is one of those other undefeated fillies, but only one race, so not sure you could really use it based on that stat. It was a non-stake. It was a maiden race, 6.5 furlong race, 1 in 115. Race rating wasn't that high, but they seemed to really like this one. Michael McCarthy entry. Been training well. And let's see what the 3's odds are currently. The 3 is 13-1. Might be worth taking a shot at there, but I'll probably stay away from that one. The 4 Percy's Bar. This is Alcibiades winner, but actually was placed second. Was placed back to second through an inquiry. Has a high Brisnet runner, or Brisnet number of the last race, a 94. Ran a mile and a 16th in 144.
Breeders' Cup president and CEO Drew Fleming.
That's the 4, Percy's Bar at 7-1. I know a lot of people like Percy's Bar.
Celebrate the life and legacy of the late Clem Murphy. For more than 2 decades, Clem served as a deeply valued member.
The 5 is the other real undefeated filly with 3 races under her belt. This is the runner-up. This was the runner-up in the Alcibiades that was placed first after the inquiry.
Clem will be remembered for his integrity, impressive determination, and unwavering devotion to the sport. He was admired by colleagues and loved by friends throughout the international thoroughbred community.
For some reason, I feel like I'm a play against Explora here. We'll be running up near the lead. We'll probably be on the lead, in my guess. Not sure if she's going to have enough late to hold on. The 8, Super Corridora, is not prepped in a stakes race. In fact, just broke her maiden on October 11th. A 1-mile race in 1:37. So I'm not using the 8. And the 9, I just don't think the numbers are good enough. So with the field of 9, it's probably not a big betting race for me. This is probably a small exacta. I might play it for $20, a $20 exacta, and hope to get lucky with probably the 1 Iron Orchard, who I think, in my opinion, is probably the best here if you're playing against Baffert anyway. So Rascal, stop. I'm going to box Iron Orchard. Well, let me go back to my money backs. I'm going to use Iron Orchard as one of my money backs. At 6-1. I think I'll have to use the 2 Bottle of Rouge at 7-1 as my other money back special. And then I'll probably have to use Explora, even though she's 2-1. I could go Tommy Joe at 7-2. Be curious to see if you like somebody in this race. It's normally a good betting race, but with the smaller field of 9, kind of dinging in a little bit. So we'll see here. I'll make a decision here in a minute. Got about 18 minutes to the start. I'll just be playing money backs in this 9-horse field. I'm going to start to get those in now. So I'm going to turn up the audio on the track here.
As far as the early wagering, anything surprising you, Christina?
Not so far. I did expect the 7 Explora to take money in here for Bob Baffert. She was 5-2 as the morning line, on the morning line, and is now 2-1 in the early wagering. She's also expected to be a big part of the pace scenario in here. Tommy Joe right at her morning line of 7-2 at the moment. I think there's still some question marks for her with the distance today. That seems about fair. Overall, everything seems to make sense as of now, but we'll monitor.
Joe, what about Percy's Bar and Tommy Joe? You were there for the Grade 1 Darley Alcibiades, which had what ended up being a controversial finish. I think most people agreed with the steward's call. I know you did, in that Tommy Joe was moved up to a win at the expense of Percy's Bar. But do you play both those horses out of that race, or were you disappointed how that race played out?
Percy's Bar is my top pick, and I think you're getting great odds at 7-1. She did win by 2 3/4 lengths, but was disqualified for interference down the stretch, and it was a pretty bad bump inside the 8th pole there, but nonetheless, that was her first time going a mile in the 16th, and she's a filly that each and every race, whether you're looking at Thoroughgraphs, Ragasons, Buyers, she's improved each and every single race.
And we have our cheers to the breeder brought to you by 3 Chimneys, and a name we're seeing a lot showing up at this Breeders' Cup. Christina, is that of Spendthrift Farm.
Indeed, and they will be well represented throughout the program today, well represented tomorrow as well. In this particular race, Tommy Joe is a homebred for Spendthrift Farm. She was 2 for 2 to begin her career. She was 3 3/4 of a length clear as she broke her maiden at Saratoga, came right back in the Grade 1 spin away at 7 furlongs. She's already a Grade 1 winner. I thought, to be fair to her in the Alcibiades, when she took that bump deep stretch, Joe, it was so significant. She lost her focus, she lost her lead, she lost her momentum. It's a lot to ask of a 2-year-old filly to make all that up and then to go on and run a winning race. Her mother was a sprinter, so I think that's part of the reason people are a little skeptical about her at the added distance, but I do think she deserves another chance around 2 turns here today.
For sure, and to your point, Christina, she's such a big filly. I know a lot of people argued that she was probably not getting by Percy's Bar, but nonetheless, she was right on her hip there with a lot of momentum, and right where she was trying to go by there, I mean, she got knocked pretty hard there, and not only did she lose momentum when she switched back to her left lead, I felt like it made her slow down a little bit when her momentum was moving forward. So I think with the cleaner trip, I could see her breaking sharp like she did really all 3 of her races and being in a really good spot, hopefully going into the first turn.
As we said, this is a huge day for Spendthrift. This Future Stars Friday. For more on that, Kate and Bradar.
The Spendthrift Farms, Tommy Joe coming in. What are your thoughts? How is she doing coming into the race? How are you feeling?
She's doing really well. She's trained well since her last start. Hopefully she learned something about going 2 turns last time. I think if she'll sit and relax a little bit, I think she should finish well. So hopefully she'll do that for us.
Is she the type of filly that mentally you think is capable of kind of toning it down a little?
I think she will, but you know how it is. I mean, sometimes these fillies need a little time and a little seasoning before they really start to get more relaxed, more professional. We'll see what kind of what the timetable is for that for her. So, but no complaints. She's doing well.
Sometimes the mental aspect of an incident, such as she experienced in her last start, can take a toll. She seemed to have rebounded from it.
She seems to have. She's worked very well, done everything really well. Todd took her back up to Saratoga, which has been her home base, and she's handled everything very well. And again, very pleased with her work. So.
Switching gears and looking ahead with your namesake, sort of, coming up a little later, Ted Noffey, I'm sure has been a tongue twister for everyone connected to him, but how are you feeling? How is he feeling coming into the Juvenile?
Really well. He's a great-minded horse, and I think that's serving him well through all this. He's came out of his last start really well, trained nicely in Saratoga. He relaxes very well. Look, obviously this is a tough group. It's really some nice colts in here, so he's going to have to step up and be ready to do his thing, but he's certainly doing everything that we could ask of him.
Certainly wish the best of
Phillies,
luck for both.
not colts.
Thank you very much.
Spendthrift Farm with some very promising 2-year-olds.
I mean, he was talking about another race.
Percy's Bar and Ben, she ran so big at Keeneland. How much have you been looking forward to this here this afternoon after the circumstances that followed her crossing the line in front?
I guess to quote Jim McKay, it was the thrill of victory and the agony of defeat all in a short amount of time. So, yeah, we circled the wagons and planned on coming out here, and we're excited to run her. She's been doing great since the race. I think, if she improves, I think we'll be in good shape. She's done everything right, and we're excited.
She took such a big leap forward from the spin away to that Darley Alcibiades at Keeneland. Do you see her having another big step forward needed here today against these fillies?
I hope so. I think a lot of the big step forward was the fact that she was able to run at her home track at Keeneland. It's a big advantage. So we're having to ship this time, which is a little bit of a concern, obviously. But, no, I think everything I'm seeing from her is suggesting that she's ready for another big race. And I don't know that she has to improve as much as she improved from the spin away to the Alcibiades. But if we get a little bit of improvement, I think we're in good shape.
Good luck, Ben.
Thank you very much, Scott.
Well, trainer John Sadler has the 8 in here in Super Corridor, coming off an 8-length maiden win. John, what did she show you that day over at Santa Anita in her first attempt going 2 turns?
Well, she showed she really wanted to run a distance. Most of these gun runners improve around 2 turns, and we were waiting to get her around 2 turns. And she won, and not only did she win, she did it in an impressive fashion.
one work over at Santa Anita. How has she been in preparation coming into the juvenile fillies now for you?
Good. The work was really, really sensational. You worry about the 3 weeks. I mean, that's the thing. We like a little more spacing ideally, but this only comes around once a year. We're going to give it a go.
Good luck, John.
Thank you.
Christina, do you have any angles here for the Net Jets Breeders' Cup Juvenile Fillies?
I do. Well, it worked in the last race, so we'll see if we can't come back again here. Super
Humble brag,
Corridora
humble brag.
for John Sadler. He's at 34% with 2-year-olds, and I think quietly so, because we talk a lot about Bob Baffert and his 2-year-olds and how high percentage he is. John Sadler does just as well. I think if you take a look at that last race with the added distance for this daughter of gun runners, she was very impressive. Split horses, came home late, strongest late pace figure. We'll go with Super Corridora.
Let's start with the 1 Iron Orchard to start our post parade. 3 for 3, but has to prove herself around 2 turns today. Winner of the Grade 1 Frizette last out.
Here's the 2 Bottle of Rouge for Bob Baffert. She is 2 for 3 lifetime, already a Grade 1 winner over this course, going 2 turns for the first time today.
Here's the number 3, Meaning up next. Jose Ortiz aboard for trainer Michael McCarthy. Broke her maiden last out by 3 lengths at Los Al Racecourse and a maiden special weight. Going to be her first time around 2 turns.
We just heard from Ben Colebrook. Here's Percy's Bar. Again, she crossed the wire first in the Darley Alcibiades, ended up DQ'd from that win and placed second overall on the board in all 4 lifetime starts.
There's Tommy Joe, the number 5 horse with some good-looking energy out there. 7-2, Johnny Velasquez aboard for Todd Pletcher. 3 for 3 off of that put-up win in the Alcibiades last out.
La Vie Lumiere at 60-1. She's been on turf in 2 of her 4 starts.
Ugh. We got going on here.
Next one, Hernandez aboard for Bob Baffert, your current 2-1 favorite, coming off a dominant victory in the Oak Leaf last time out at Santa Anita.
Super Corridora bet in half right now. A lot of horse players I know looking to this filly coming into this weekend. The daughter of Gunrunner is 1 for 3 lifetime. That lone victory, a maiden victory, going a mile.
Lawali is going to round out your post breed. The Mark Glad trainee, Flavian Pratt, aboard 2nd place last time out in the Oak Leaf. She's 12-1.
And that is the field of 9 2-year-old fillies about to test themselves at 1 1/16 in the Net Jets Breeders' Cup Juvenile Fillies. How to play this race? For more on that, Dave Weaver in the FanDuel TV studios.
Thank you, Todd. Yeah, and you want to make those plays on your FanDuel Racing app. It's another opportunity for the money back special. But I'm going to focus on an exact in this race because there are 2 horses that look very, very similar. And one's from the East Coast, that's the 1 Iron Orchard, and one's from the West Coast, that's the 7 Explorer. What's the similarity? They both showed speed in their first 2 starts, but they both proved that they can rate in their most recent start and finished up fantastic. So I think that's going to be key here in deep stretch, that they both can finish. I'm actually going to put Iron Orchard second, and I'm going to put Explorer on top. I like to call this the ice-cold exacta. So I'm going $20 exacta, 7-1. Let's check in with Joaquin earlier.
Well, Danny Gargan has the 1 in here, Iron Orchard, the undefeated New York bred. She's a perfect 3 for 3. Looking at her form, 5.5 furlongs, 6 furlongs, 8 furlongs. Has she had a nice progression in your mind to attempt the 2 turns for the first time today?
Well, I think coming off her last race, showing that she's rateable, that was what we were trying to accomplish last time, is controlling her speed because she is fast. And she showed a big kick, and I think the 2 turns should be all right.
She just went through the sales ring. Hammered down $2.5 million coming into the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Fillies. Who's the new ownership group?
It's Katie Rich Farm, Larry Dole. His brother trains up in New York. Say hi to his brother back home. He's going through some struggles right now. Real good guy that trains a few horses. And, Larry, he's excited about being a part of this, and we're excited to have him on board.
Thank you, Danny. Good luck to you and your team.
Thank you.
Thank you, Danny.
So how do you view this New York bred who has passed every test thus far but has another one here today? Not just the competition, but the prospect of going around 2 turns. Trainer is confident. Are you, Christina?
She's kind of a big, longer, narrow filly. I don't have any doubts about her, finding the 2 turns within her scope. I didn't love her prep race as compared to some of the others that are come into this race here today. Just felt like that race fell apart a little bit, and she got the jump on some of the closers. She did look very strong late across the wire, so the added distance isn't an issue, but I think she needs to improve a little bit to keep up with some of the others in here, Joe.
Yeah, I mean, it is hard to knock her. She is 3 for 3. She did gut out that nose victory in the Frizette last time on. I love what Danny Gargan said, too, how they got her to rate last time out. Her first 2 starts, but even although they were both victories, she was in front. So I do like the fact how she's not a one-dimensional filly that needs to absolutely go, and I think she's going to need to use some of that speed a little bit from the one hole just to keep her position going into the first turn.
Daily Racing Form, a formulator stat for the NetJets Breeders' Cup Juvenile Fillies. It centers around Bottle of Rouge and Explorer. Trainer Bob Baffert is 7 for 32. That's a 22% win percentage. And graded stakes for 2-year-olds over the last year. So DRF formulator telling us, Christina, that Bob Baffert is good in 2-year-old stake races.
He looks to improve upon those numbers today and coming up a little bit later in the juvenile as well.
And always beware of the uncoupled entry. That was the case in the Grade 1 Del Mar debutante. It wasn't Bottle of Rouge who the bettors were looking at, but it was Bottle of Rouge who ended up getting Bob Baffert the win in the Grade 1 Del Mar debutante at 9-1.
I thought this was really impressive. I like this filly a lot. She's a Grade 1 winner over this course, going 7 furlongs. I don't have any doubts about her getting the added distance. Joe, the only concern I have for her is if you go back to that debut, she was climbing when she was in and behind horses, catching a lot of kickback. In her second start, she went gate to wire. In the race you just looked at, she was 3 wide and she never took the kickback. Today, if you're Mike Smith from post position 2, where do you want to place her so she doesn't face that adversity against these horses?
I would have to think Mikey's going to be somewhat aggressive, especially with the 2-hole. You definitely, the break is everything going into the first turn. So I think coming out of that 7-8 race in the Del Mar debutante, she wasn't that far off the pace, and they went pretty quick early. So I would have to think he's going to try and lay somewhat close.
I used her on my pick 4 ticket. We'll rattle through these numbers real quickly for you. 2, 4, 7, and 8. Super Corridora is going to be my top selection. I do think the price is going to come down on her. If you take a look at some of the will pays, the 8, I don't think you'll get that 8-1. In race number 8, the 1, 5, and 8 for me. Ultimate Love from the inside is undefeated at 8-1. I think she'll maintain.
Okay, we got about 5 minutes to go, and I've been looking this over, and the more I look at it, the more I'm thinking the 7 just might be too good here. So I'm going to take a bit of a shot here, since it's a smaller field. There's only 9 horses. I'm going to take a shot and try and play the super high 5 with the 7 on top, the 1, 4, 5, and second, third, and fourth, and then a little bit of some longer shots in 5th place, the 8 and the 9. So 7 at 9-5 on top, the 1, 4, 5, second, third, and fourth at 7-1, 7-1, and 7-2, and then in 5th place, the 8 and the 9 at 8-1 and 11-1. I just felt like after looking at some of the payouts in the exacta, I was going to play a $20 exacta with 4 horses. I was going to play the 1, 4, 7. Let's see, what was it? I'm going to tell you just in case it hits. It was the 1, 4, 7, and the 9. The 1, 4, 7, 9. I was going to do a $20 exacta box, 1, 4, 7, 9, and hump it up for $20, but it didn't feel right. I think it was a $120 play. I felt like it was too chancy. So I backed off and I went to the super high 5, or the exact 5 they're calling it. 7 over 145 over 145 over 145 over 8, 9. That's one thing. There's one other thing I want to mention as they get 3 minutes out. I believe, and we're gonna look at this a little closer. Let me turn this down. I believe they offer quinellas at Del Mar, and they don't have quinellas for Breeders' Cup. What I was going to do was I was going to play quinellas instead of exactas, and I noticed in the past that quinellas pay higher, especially if you have two horses and one's a higher price, one's a lower odds, and you think that one's going to win. It's better to play the Quinella because you're going to get the average of the two payouts versus playing an exacta where you're going to get the lower payout if the favorite finishes first, and a higher payout if the favorite finishes second. So you get an average in the Quinella. And if you really like the favorite in a 2-horse exacta, I always play the Quinella, but they aren't offering them for Breeders' Cup, it looks like. I know normally they do at Del Mar, but no, that's my play. I'm doing the super high 5 that I mentioned, the 7 over the 145 over the 145 over the 145 over the 8 and 9, and we'll see what happens. If you have an opinion, I'd like to see it. Put it in the chat. But that's my play. Kind of taking the race off here. Not crazy about the 9-horse field.
Just impressed how
Good luck if you're playing.
to rate enough for that. A lot of times especially with fillies in particular that are known to kind of go out there, a lot of times they'll be a little bit headstrong, but I thought she settled really, really nice under Joel Rosero. And I think that's another kind of tip in her arsenal going into the first turn, that he knows that she's able to kind of take that kickback and be able to relax if need be.
Our second championship moment is at hand on this Future Stars Friday. The field has reached the starting gate for the NetJets Breeders' Cup Juvenile Fillies. Here's Larry Colmus.
And the fillies begin to move into line for the $2 million Breeders' Cup Juvenile Fillies. Iron Orchard, one of the undefeated runners, has moved in with Tommy Joe and La Ville Lumiere. Bottle of Rouge takes her spot in line. Here's Meaning and Explora. Percy's Bar moving into line with Super Corridora, and La Wally will be the last one. La Wally takes her spot in line. They're all in line. We're ready for the start. They're off. In the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Fillies, it was not a great start for Iron Orchard, who's been left behind at the back of the pack. And Explora takes the early lead, and Super Corridora is sent after her, and she will establish command into the turn. Then La Wally on the outside. Bottle of Rouge is tucked in fourth alongside of Meaning. Then it's Tommy Joe in sixth, 3 wide into that turn. Percy's Bar saves all the ground. Then La Ville Lumiere. And the trailer is Iron Orchard. The opening quarter mile was 22.42 seconds. Super Corridora heading up the backstretch in front by a length and a half. On the outside is La Wally in second. Explorer and Juan Hernandez are down at the rail, and they're a length and 3/4 off the lead. Then Meaning to the outside of Bottle of Rouge. In behind them, La Ville Lumiere splitting Percy's Bar and Tommy Joe. And Iron Orchard has lost ground to them, trailing the field through a fast half mile here in 45.63 seconds. Into the far turn, Super Corridora rolling along, pressed by La Wally. Meaning is third to the outside. Explora comes under a ride. Tommy Joe is moving 4 wide on the far turn. Then Bottle of Rouge and Percy's Bar. They're all in pursuit of Super Corridora, who turns for home in the Juvenile Fillies with a length and a half lead. Explora comes off the rail to try to run her down. A little bit of tight quarters in behind them with Percy's Bar and Meaning, but with 1 furlong to run, Super Corridora digs in. Explora trying her best to get by in the last 16th, but they're coming to the finish, and Super Corridora is a champion filly. She beats Explora on the wire. Then it was Percy's Bar in a photo with Meaning for third.
Wow.
What a performance by Super Corridora. It was obvious in the beginning they were intent on taking the lead. Joe, it looked like it was going to come at a cost. The opening quarter mile, 22-2, the half mile, 45-3. But the 2 horses who were making up that pace stayed there the whole way around.
I tell you what, this was very impressive because they did have quite a bit of speed. Two were inside, but Hector Berrios took no prisoners, and I think that was very important. Even though he did go a little quick, he was able to come over before the first turn. I tell you what, this was a big performance, just coming off a maiden special weight victory. Each and every career start, she's improved, and I tell you what, she's a very deserving winner today. Congratulations to everybody.
That is a first Breeders' Cup victory for jockey Hector Berrios, and you can see the emotion as he is absolutely thrilled. He was committed to his plans coming away from the starting gate. There was some questions as to whether or not which one of the Bob Baffert horses would take the lead. Hector took control of this race right from the starting gate. They went pretty quick, as Joe mentioned, but he had the filly underneath him to see it out. This daughter of Gunrunner, she only got better in that last race with the added distance, and she poured it on today.
Yeah, you could see her body language, too. Even before the 3/8 pole, she was trying to flip one of her left ears up there, kind of trying to take a breather there. And as you mentioned, I mean, she was rolling along pretty good. She had every right to come back to the field, especially in a big race like this. And nonetheless, Explorer was right behind her, tipped out. I thought had every
Super Corridor.
to get by her right
Nick,
there.
welcome aboard.
Thanks. How's it going?
Not bad. Well, I have the first race was the one I really liked, the Juvenile Phillies Turf, I'm sorry, the Juvenile Turf Sprint, and I swung a miss, and then I backed off on this one because the field was too small for me. I ended up going with Explorer on top, and then 1, 4, 5, second, third, and fourth, and the winner in fifth. Yeah, Explorer actually ran good, but man, Super Corridor just looked really good.
Yeah, I had her in the pick 5. I ended up not playing, which I'm happy I didn't play. It would technically be alive, but it was a $420 pick 5 that I didn't want to lose $420 on a bunch of 2-year-old races, so I didn't push the button, but I took a picture of it so I can remember when I do hit it and it pays 15 grand, I can kick myself for not playing it. So tomorrow, when I then end up playing my $420 pick 5 that doesn't hit, I can be extra mad for not hitting and then missing, just because that's the way my Breeders' Cup have gone the last couple of years.
So it's 8-1 over 3-2 over 7-1 over 12-1 over 4-1.
Tommy Joe did not look good at all.
I didn't like Tommy Joe, to be honest with you, but I had to throw him in my second through fourth just because I didn't want him to ruin it. That's kind of where I thought he was going to be. I thought he'd probably be third or fourth. I actually really liked the one, and right from the start, it was just bad.
Yep.
But yeah. So did you get to see the first race?
Yeah, I wish I didn't, because I was with you with the 8. So I liked a couple in there. I didn't play that pick 5 because that race I had it so wide open that I just couldn't really do anything there. So a 2-year-old races I don't like, turf races I don't like, turf sprints I really don't like. So when you mix the 3, you get the trifecta that Nick hates. So I didn't like that race very much.
Well, the next race is let's see, what is it? Is it the Juvenile Phillies Turf? Juvenile Phillies Turf. And we should have, looking to see if there were any scratches in that. I don't think there were.
Yeah, the 13, the precise, the big favorite was scratched out of that one. So
okay.
It's going to be a wide open betting race would be my guess. I haven't looked at probables or anything, but knowing that the 13, I believe the 13 was named precise. I thought it was 6-5 on the morning line. Yeah, she was. So now you got, the lowest favorite going in on the morning line pre-scratch was a 3-1 of the 9 Time to Dream, and then the 1 Ultimate Love was 7-2, and everybody else was pretty big. I guess there was not huge, but big. So it'll be interesting where this one all ends up, because I kind of assume we're going to get a pretty wide open betting affair here. And I don't know, again, it's a 2-year-old turf race. You can kind of throw a dart as far as I'm concerned and be as right as you would be if you handicap this for hours on end.
Yeah, I think is going to take some money based on his win in the first Breeders' Cup race. And I think Time to Dream, Irad, Todd Fletcher, my guess is that's where the money's going to fall. In fact, he's opening up at 7-2 right now.
Yep.
So that's probably where
And the Johnny V is also 7-2 on the 1.
Yep, the 1, 7-2 Ultimate Love. Okay. Let me just kind of go back here a little bit. Juvenile Phillies Turf, average winner about 7-1. Has a low favorite win rate, which was kind of what we're talking about, kind of throw a dart type thing. American horses have the edge, 13-4. Although the Euros won last year, North American-based horses have won 9 of the last 11. But the last 2 years, it's been a Euro, so something to think about. Chad Brown has the most wins at 6, mostly non-favorites, and mostly in Southern California Breeders' Cups. I'm not sure if he has one. I think he does. The New York base have won twice at Del Mar. Here's one for you. No California-based filly has ever been in the exacta. And I think, let me look at the field. I think we have a couple of, oh, maybe not. Richard Mandela has one. So that would probably be the one that I'm going to throw out. Brave Deb at 14-1. Taking a little bit of money. What else was I going to say? Mention. It's not front runner friendly. Yeah, I think those are the main things to consider for me anyway. Let me see here if I'm leaning towards anything. Ultimate Love. The Jessamine winner, Imagination the Lady, is currently 9-2. That's probably too short for me with Frankie Dettori aboard. But that's one I'm considering. Infinite Sky was second place, was the runner-up in that in the Jessamine. I kind of like the runners-up. It was a good time too.
Yeah.
42 and 3 in mile and 16th. Those Keeneland races in October really, you got to pay attention to them for 2-year-olds.
The one is very interesting because it's a Laurel. Well, it ran at Colonial first and broke its maiden at Colonial, then ran twice at Laurel, and it's a Trombetta horse that's shipping out to the Breeders' Cup. And it was 8-1 on the morning line, and then, like I say, with the scratch of the 13, it's now 7-2. So it certainly feels like one that is taking enough money that it looks live. I was the 135 when the 13 was in. I was the 13 over the 135, so now I'm a little less. Well, I think the one maybe your most likely winner. But
you don't think the one is in over his head or in over her head a little bit?
Probably is, but I don't think this group is very good. And when you get Johnny V to come in to ride, it feels like he's gonna give it at least the best ride it's ever gonna get. So maybe not worth it at 7-2. Kind of feels like one that, if you get beat at 7-2, you may not want that short of a price. But also, I don't know who else you really want in this race. I mean, I think your idea of just saying, okay, we'll take the 4 highest price horses and we'll box them up, like this type of race feels like that's where you kind of hit that. It's yeah, you pick the 4 longest prices and you're kind of right.
Well, Switch and Love is kind of caught my attention. The Japanese entry. He's down to 11-1, and I think I watched this race. It's 2 races, 2-mile races. The first one was in 136, and the last one was in 133 and 2. And I'm not sure if those translate to the same mile times here, but I 133 is 133.
Yeah. I mean, you can only go so fast, right? I mean, no matter what it is, you can only go so fast. You can't, no horse is going faster than, a certain number there. And that's sort of it. That's interesting.
I'm throwing out the 7 because the 7 is a front runner. So I know this isn't a front runner type friendly
Yeah.
race. So I'm throwing out the 7.
And it's a
Um,
Rapoli, Pletcher, Saez horse. It's not getting bet. So I think that tells you everything you need to
Yep,
know is that
yep.
I don't think that one has any chance.
The Mandela one I'm throwing out because of the locally, the Brave Deb, because of the not California based friendly, and is a front runner. She's a front runner for the most part, so I'm throwing the 8 out. The 9's a late closer with Irad. That just scares me. Irad just scares me. This is the third place uh, in the Jessamine. Looks like she just ran out of time. Came from 9th place back. 5 1/4 lengths back at second call. Was 4 lengths back at the top of the straightaway and finished 1 length back at the finish line to finish third. This one kind of scares me. What's the 9 currently?
3-1 currently.
3-1.
Yeah, and the
Wow.
projected odds look like it's going to be 9-2. So it looks like it's going to go float up a
Wow.
little bit. But I'll look here at the pick 3 payouts, which I think is the place to look.
Yeah, I don't like those odds for a horse coming from far back. Although, like I said, Irad is something to consider. The 11 is a front runner type. I'm throwing that one out. Although that one did win the Miss Grillo, and the Miss Grillo has been a good prep for this race. But I'm gonna say the post and the running style is not gonna work. I think you're gonna work too hard to get to the lead and fade. And the 12, I don't know anything about.
So
The
I
12.
will tell you that the great Emily Gullickson, who I will listen to anything she says about horses and pretty much anything else because she's good. She really liked the way this one was moving and had some notes about how
12?
this one closed. Yeah, the 12. It's a Godolphin that where'd it go? Had a good movement at the end of the last race and made some sense in this race. I can read and speak at the same time pretty poorly, as it turns out.
Well, comes out of a grade 2 race. Finished second in 139 and 1 mile. Those races are much slower anyway. I don't know. Let me look at the class.
It's a Juddmonte homebred, and it's one of those that would definitely you don't really consider getting bet in the Breeders' Cup because it's not O'Brien. It's Balding, who's a trainer I've never heard of, which means it's probably a good trainer. I mean, Juddmonte sending it to him horses. So it's definitely one like, well, it may fit. So I don't know. It feels like one that may be worth at least underneath to include.
Yeah, the race rating is actually pretty good. It's a 117, and that's much higher than I think probably most of these. I think most of these are going to be 113, 114.
Yeah.
And second place in a race that was race rating in 117. I think you might be onto something there.
The one problem I see with it is that it's going to get bet down some from those odds, but I don't know how much is going to be included in the trifecta. Definitely not getting included in the exact at the moment. So if you're playing it underneath, it may be one I would definitely, if you're going deep and you don't really have an opinion, it'd be definitely one that I would throw in there.
Yeah, I agree.
And sorry for the dog barking. I was kicked outside by a 12-year-old, and she's mean. So she said that 2-year-old racing doesn't matter. You can watch it outside. So you get outside me today.
That's okay. I got a cat that wants to get on the broadcast too. So between the two of us, it's animal day.
My dog isn't barking. It's the neighbor's dog. That's the problem. I can't even make
Oh, I
it
see.
stop.
Well, I'm definitely going to take that crazy exacta shot where I'm going to box. I'm going to. Well, I'm looking at them right now. The one we just talking about, the 12. I'm
Mhm.
going to box the 12,
Use the 11. It has everything
the,
that you
the
like about
11, the
horses.
10, 11, and 12, and I'm going to throw one more in.
Yep.
The 10, 11, 12, and probably Brave. Well, Brave Deb is the local horse. Oh, gosh.
The 6 is your Japan horse. Would be one that I would really consider.
Yeah, I think that's it right there. 6,
Yep.
10, 11, 12. I'm not going to use the 7 Celebrity Warrior. I'm going to box those 3 as the longer shots. 6 at 12 to 1. 14 to 1 on the 12, 21 to 1 on the 11, and 26 to 1 on the 10.
So then I will take the outside horses. I'll take the inside horses, and we hope that we don't we don't knock each other out here. I was going to go with the 2, 3, and I think I'm going to use the 4. I'm still going to look through that one a little bit more, but I really like the 3. Coming in off of that Keeneland race, it ran that. If you watch the Kentucky Down Maiden where it won, it looked really good. It was a bit speed favoring up front there, and then the Jessamine. I don't know how good the Jessamine is this year, but I think this horse was pretty good. And if you're going to give me 9-2, is what it's sitting at now. It looks like, according to the projections on DRF, it's going to go up to 6-1, but it certainly feels like one that can hit the board for sure. So it's one I'm going to be using in my my exacta box.
Okay, let's talk money backs. What do you like as far as your money back?
So my thought here was, so I was the 1-3-5 when I did my handicapping. So this will be the 3 I use in the box, and I'll use probably the 5. Probably use the 5 and 1 money back, my $10 one with FanDuel, and then I'll use the 3 in my $25 one with Twin Spires.
Okay, I got 3 money backs I got to use. And I need to look at this a little bit. I think I'm going to use the horse from Japan. Was that the 12? No, the 6. The 6, right? The 6. I'm going to use that
6,
one.
yep.
Write that one down. The 6.
I mean, I would say that if you're going, and this is probably the place to do it, you like the 11, I think, more than I do, though I don't know that you actually like the 11, other than the fact that it ran in the New York race. At 20 to 1, maybe the way to go. The 12 is the other one that I think you can really make a case for, that's coming out of a much better race than a lot of these ones. The one thing that I liked about the 2, who's not getting bet at all, is that it was in an Irish race, in a Group 3 Irish race. It was 3 to 1 in a field of 6, so probably not the favorite you would imagine with only 6 horses, but it got bet down pretty good in an Irish race. Now it's going to be 6-7 to 1 here, so that feels like one that's worth taking a shot with for a money back, because it's ran 6 in its debut, then ran a mile and won both those races. So definitely one to consider. The time form figures are not very good, so that's the problem, is that maybe it's just not fast enough.
Well, I don't like the 11 now because that one's a front runner, and not for the money back because you got to win. So I'm not gonna do the 11 on the money back. I think I'm gonna probably go. Let's see what the 9's paying. 3 to 1. I don't think that's enough even with Irad. Brave Deb. 8. I think that might be the way to go. That's the local horse though. I can't stick with the I got to go against the trends once in a while because they don't last forever. So Brave Deb, the authentic filly, might be my third one.
So when you're looking at these, you're looking for ones that are bigger prices or ones that you actually think are going to win. Like, what's kind of your theory?
For
of
money
doing
backs, I'm looking for non-favorites that are paying more than 3 or 4 to 1. Because if I'm playing 3 money backs, I want to be able to hit one of them, and cover my other 2 bets if they don't finish second or third. So I usually bet 3 or 4 to 1, which is kind of what, or 3 to 4 to 1 or higher, which is kind of what usually wins anyway, if it's not a favorite, you know.
7 to 1, looking very relaxed out there in the paddock. Let's go to Joaquin.
The 3 Imagination the Lady kind of.
The favorite here in the 9 and Time the Dream. She won by 5 with you 2 starts back. How much trouble did she have last race at Keeneland?
No, we had some traffic going through from the third pole to the quarter pole. I don't have the best trip, but she showed up. At the end, I finally hit clear, and she came running.
Is she a horse that you could maybe try to keep her a little bit closer to the pace today, or is that something you don't?
I'm going to go the 4.
I would love to be
6, 4, and 12 as my money backs.
Good luck, Irad.
Thank you.
The 4 with Flavian, the second place runner in the Jessamine.
Earlier today, that his 21st Breeders' Cup victory.
That was a good race.
Tied with Hall of Famer Johnny Velasquez, each with 21.
I was going to go Imagination the Lady, but I'd rather take the odds on Infinite Sky than Imagination the Lady at 9 to 2.
In terms of the riders, I do think Time to Dream will get a nice trip. They'll be able to just kind of.
So my money backs are 6, 4, 6, and 12.
Okay.
Four,
I did the 3 and the 5. So I get a 1 for $25 and 1 for $10. And so for the 25, I did the 3, and for the $10, I did the 5. And then for your long shot exacta box that you're talking about, you do it with 4 horses?
Yeah, I've been doing 4.
Okay.
I think I already put it in.
I'm gonna copy you a little bit there and by copy a little bit I mean do exactly what you're doing, but I don't think I'm getting not quite long enough prices where I think you're going maybe a little bit longer, and probably a smarter idea is I'm doing the 2, 3, 5, and 12, and those are paying okay enough that for $1 it's gonna pay me enough to do them the next 2 races and be okay with it.
All right. And let me get this. They're talking about Ultimate Love now. I want to see what they're saying.
What does she need to do as she steps up here to Grade 1 company, Mike?
Well, obviously things have to go well for her. Hopefully she can negotiate a good trip and maybe improve a little bit from where she's been, and hopefully that puts her where she needs to be.
How does she negotiate a good trip in your mind for Post 1?
Just with these turf races, I mean, it just got to hope that you get a clean trip. And I think the biggest risk is getting into that first turn with good position.
And what would be the biggest risk going into the first turn? Horses coming over?
Yeah, they just bottleneck up sometimes into that turn. And when you're down on the inside, if you're not up in there where you need to be, it can be troublesome.
Good luck today.
Thank you.
Kelsey Danner with ground support, undefeated in 2 starts. Kelsey, what kind of style are you expecting? She took it to him last time.
It depends what happens at the break. If no one goes, we're going to go. If not, we'll sit right behind him. So
she looked on her toes and a little sharp. Is that just her?
That's her, but she's always on her toes. But she's been training really forwardly out here and traveled great. So
she seems as if she's improved with each of her 2 starts. What gives you confidence that you can take another step forward?
I guess we'll find out soon, but she's doing really well. So.
And finally, any concerns about that 11 post, or do you feel that suits?
I don't love it, but I couldn't decide. So we'll just play the break.
Best of luck.
Thank you.
Ground support looking to keep that perfect record intact.
Kaiten, thank you very much. 22 to 1 right now on ground support for Kelsey Danner, the NBS Stables. Good luck to them. I want to take the conversation back to the 1 back to Ultimate Love. Hall of Famer Johnny Velasquez will be aboard. She's 3 for 3. She opened up half the price of her morning line. Now, I know the scratch of Precise definitely changed, the direction that all of these odds were going to go. She ran an 8 on Thorograph in her last race in the Salima. That is as fast as anything Precise had run coming into this race here. And she is very clearly favored in both the doubles and the pick threes. This 7-2 is going to keep coming down on the 1.
I heard you talking about her chances earlier in the week, so I went and delved into her pedigree.
Okay, what were you gonna play that longer shot exacta? Is that what you said?
Related to See the Stars Galileo. So she's bred for this, and as proven by
Can you hear me, Nick?
so far in her career, she's quite an exciting horse.
She is bred to be any kind. We've seen the Salima.
Yep, so I unmute myself. I'm watching Matt Bernier, who turned his $1,000 into $6,100, and Edzo, who's turned his $1,000 into $3,400, and wondering why I'm just not following these two.
What was that long shot exacta play you were going to do?
I'm doing the 2, 3, 5, and 12.
And that's a long shot play, exacta long shot play, or what?
Yeah, I mean, I don't have the bravery to go the 4 longest shot on the board like you were talking about doing. So I'm doing the longer shots that I think, if we beat the 1 and the 9 is basically what I'm going for. So I figure if you beat the top 2, out of the top 2, I'll be okay. So that's my thought is I'm going to do the toss the 1, toss the 9, and then try and find the 4 that I like the best outside of that.
2, 3, 5, and 12.
5, 12. Yep.
All right, that's Nick's play. 2, 3, 5, and 12 is exacta value play, and then mine is going to be the money back play 4, the 6, and the 12.
3-1 in the wagering with Johnny Velasquez in the saddle.
Cash in on Nick's exacta value play there.
So I'll tell you that I was watching Matt Bernier, who I respect his opinions pretty well, and he was on the 8, and he said it's entirely because of the price. So with 21 morning line, currently 16-1, and it's the one at Del Mar, broke its maiden run a mile at Del Mar in September, went to Santa Anita, won the Surfer Girl, and now is here to Mandela with Demuro. I don't know who that is. It's a jockey, but he liked that one. So if you're doing the exacta and you are actually going long shots, the 8 may be one to include because, like I say, Matt Bernier's sharp enough that when he was on something like that and he's up $5,000 on the day on NBC, or I guess on Peacock, whatever it is, at least worth a stab if you're gonna do something goofy like that.
I think I removed it from my long shot exacta because of the 2 factors: the front runner angle and the locally based one. Let me get this thing going again. It's been happening.
And I knew that that sort of makes sense, especially given the way that what you were looking at before. But I don't know if you are actually just going to say, okay, this one's going to fall apart and going to be huge prices all over the place. I would say the 12, 11, 10, 8 kind of fill what we're talking about doing there. And the 4 I know you have also, who's also a pretty big price. So, I mean, how often you get a Brad Cox Flavian Pratt horse that's going to be 13, 15-1? So it feels like one you kind of got to use. So maybe I will. I'll copy you here with your money back and throw the 4 in one of my money backs here. I think I have to now. I think you talked me into it by not saying a word.
Yeah, Flavian on the turf, Brad Cox. Yeah, exactly. Mirko Demuro is the jockey on Brave Deb. Mirko Demuro.
Well, it was originally going to be an exacta play.
That's what he says. See what he says.
That one being scratched. Let's make it a win bet, and that's a good thing because you see that promo tab right there, money back special chance in your FanDuel racing account. Who's the winningest rider money-wise in the Breeders' Cup? You might think it's Mike Smith. It's not. It's actually John Velasquez. He's got the mount on Ultimate Love. This horse just looks like a complete freak. Even though the win's coming at Colonial Laurel, I'm going to go with Johnny V. He's yet to win a race today. Keep in mind, he does have Ted Noffey in the next. So maybe it'll be back-to-back here if we can get the win with Ultimate Love, 20 to win at odds of 3-1 for me. Rishi?
I totally respect the chances of Ultimate Love, but the 3 horses that I've focused in on for the trifecta are Queen of Hawaii. I think she represents the best chance for Europe in this race now. But I go back to that Jessamine run, and although Imagination the Lady came out on top, the 2 horses in behind her are the 2 that I'm going to concentrate on, Infinite Sky and Time to Dream. I thought Time to Dream might come out best of them all, considering that I think she had the worst trip of the 3 horses that reoppose on this occasion. But then at the prices, I thought Infinite Sky also had a rough trip. She got a bad start, and yet she did really well to finish as close as she did. So I thought including her in my trifecta would be the play.
I thought Infinite Sky just looked a little green in that last race. She's still learning a little bit. She was sort of tail swishing, jumping around here in the paddock. I think mentally she might still be coming on at this point for Brad Cox. She dropped so far back off the pace too, Joe. Do you expect her, with any of the behavior that we've seen today, to be any closer this afternoon?
I would have to think they're going to try and keep her closer. And to Richie's point, I couldn't agree more. I think Infinite Sky and Time to Dream did have a worse trip than Imagination the Lady. If you notice in that race, the first quarter was tepid. They went 23 and 4, but each of the preceding quarters, they went 24.90 and then 24.94. So they actually slowed it down. So for them to have to wait around the whole turn and really have a turn of foot more than Imagination the Lady, they would have had to absolutely fly home to catch us. So I couldn't agree more that Imagination the Lady did have the better trip. I do think she is going to be a little bit closer than the previous 2, but I would have to think that Infinite Sky and Time to Dream, they want to, not give them too much to do.
The one thing I'd say about that race is that whilst the 2 horses that I've gone for were capable, I think, of improving more and did have troubled runs, Imagination the Lady did show the most professional attitude, I felt, of the 3 horses.
I do like that they like that race.
Daughter of Not This Time Imagination the Lady,
Yeah,
up on the
agreed.
board at 5-1 right now. We'll take a closer look at the 10, Valentina, for Donica O'Brien. She's been fresh since she came in to the paddock here. Oisin Murphy in the saddle here today. And I thought that effort 2 back at Deauville was maybe the most indicative of what we might see from her this afternoon.
Rearing up.
Still lashing out on the way down to the start. She's
Look at that.
feeling very well in herself.
Wow.
It was, Christina, I agree with you. That run and the run at Ascot are her 2 best performances. The run last time out, though, was really disappointing. And in addition to that, if you look back at the horses that she competed in that race, nothing has come out and won. All the horses in front of and behind her have raced again, and nothing has been able to get their head in front, and a few disappointments. So ultimately, that was a weak form guide. So I'm hoping that she's in the sort of form that she showed when she was 3rd to Venetian Sun at Royal Ascot, and that would give her a chance, but she has to get back there.
Venetian Sun beat the Colts at one point, didn't she?
She beat Stad, outfielder who runs later. She beat them in the pre-morning.
Strong form for Valentina coming in today. She is a big 30-1 on the board. Caton, tell us about this Exacta coming up here in the Juvenile Fillies turf.
Well, it's hopefully a little better than some of the previous exactas and combination wagers, but kind of playing the best of both worlds. With the 3 Imagination the Lady, a little lower odds than I anticipated, down from 10-1 in the morning line, but an improving filly. Undefeated, and who I thought could get an awfully nice setup and might be under the radar, combined with Infinite Sky, who is right there with Imagination the Lady. I think the Jessamine could be a real good indicator of success in this race. So using those 2 with the Euro, the 12 Pacific Mission on the far outside, I don't like the post, but I do respect the form and the horse. If she can get out of the gate a little bit better than she did in her previous runner-up finish in Group 2 competition last out, she's going to be very tough to beat. And the 11 Ground Support, who was a little full of herself in the paddock but has settled down since she got out on the racetrack, another undefeated filly that I think has to be respected but also has to contend with a tricky outside post, hence your 21-1
That's a nice exacta
odds.
box.
So
3, 4, 11,
kind of
12.
trying to beat the
3,
logical
4,
horses
5,
here with some
12,
price horses in an
21.
exacta
It's a little
box.
bit like my long shot one.
Caton, thank you very much. And in the
Yeah,
last
it has a
couple
lot of the same horses
seconds
here.
here, the 1 has now
11
taken
and
the
the
favorites
12,
role. Ultimate
and
Love
then
at
4 we
3-1
like,
right
but
now. Let's take a closer
did
look
not-
at the Jessamine. We've talked about this race quite a bit, and we've talked about these horses coming out of it. Imagination the Lady, the winner. Infinite Sky comes out of this race. Time to Dream as well. Joe, take us through this replay.
Yeah, you could see Frankie is going to be rolling on the outside there. You could see him in the white cap. He's about 4th right now. And what impressed me so much about this, too, Christine, this is only her 2nd career start. And you could see she was still a little green. She switched back to her left lead at one point, then switched back very professionally. And then right behind her, you could see Infinite Sky and Time to Dream coming. But one thing I take away from this race, too, this was going a mile and a 16th. We are going a mile today. And that's kind of why I like Imagination the Lady over the 2nd and 3rd place horses. I think she could be a little bit more tactical, maybe a little bit closer than they are. And one thing of note here at Del Mar, very short stretch compared to the likes of Keeneland back at Kentucky. So I would have to think if she does get a good trip under Frankie from the inside and can kind of work her way out and get a good trip, I think she could get first run on those closers.
A lot of respect on the board there, as you can see, for Imagination the Lady. She is the top selection of quite a few of our analysts in here. I want to talk about a couple horses that we haven't had a chance to touch on. So Ultimate Love is the favorite right now. She's 3-1. She was your winner of the Salima. The 2nd place finisher from that race is in here as well, Celebrity Warrior. Now, obviously, Ultimate Love was much the best. She beat her pretty handily. But where's the discrepancy between 3-1 and 50-1 on
kidding.
Celebrity Warrior here? Does that 4 lengths really account for all of that?
I mean, if you do want to play devil's advocate, I mean, Ultimate Love hasn't done a thing wrong in 3 career starts. It's 3 for 3, but she did just beat a 50-1 shot by 4 lengths. So you
would take it
kind of
negatively if you wanted to. She's still up there as the choice. We mentioned she's won all 3 of her career starts. I like the 5 in here.
Who had the 8 in that
Cassie, daughter of War of Will. And
last race, and he's
currently
sitting 5th in
she
the
has a huge turn of foot, an electric kick. The added distance is
so
going
far
to be her
saying
friend here
$500
today.
into
And when we still had
22,670.
Precise in this race, she was the only one to be on replays that had
way to
the
start the day.
acceleration to try and catch a horse like that.
Yeah, when I was trying to look at
Fifth,
what the main dangers
how many
were
people
when I
enter that?
certainly one of those horses.
Give me 1 second here. There's a lot, but the winner gets. Normally, you have to turn into about one. Last year was 150,000 to win. It normally ranges between turning $7,500 into 130 to 200,000, and this year probably going to be closer to that 150-ish range, would be my guess. And there's 640 people in it.
That's real money too, right? That's not
Yep.
That's not
Yep. So with the same 500, you have to bet 3 of the 5 Breeders' Cup races today with a minimum of $600, and then 7 of the 9 tomorrow. Yeah, 7 of the 9 tomorrow. You have to bet $600 on those, and so win, place, show, exacta, trifecta, or double.
But she found the turn of foot turning over as opposed to just grinding a little bit further.
Just about post time here as we have reached.
Okay, good luck if you're playing. Just a reminder, my money back specials are the 4, 6, and the 12 on 3 different sites. And Nick's longer shot value, exacta play, 2, 3, 5, 12 box. Good luck.
Ultimate Love has taken her spot in the starting gate. Celebrity Warrior is in with Brave Deb. Queen of Hawaii and Imagination the Lady go in. Time to Dream. Stepping forward to the starting gate. Infinite Sky, Final Accord. Valentina's in. Here's ground support into the gate, along with Switch and Love. And there's 1 left to load. That's Pacific Mission.
We got one back here. Still up.
Pacific Mission is in. They're all in line. They're off. In the Juvenile Fillies turf, Queen of Hawaii slow out of the gate. Good beginning for Final Accord on the inside, but there goes the Japanese filly Switch and Love to take the lead. Switch and Love will be the pace sector. Celebrity Warrior is away running in second. Brave Deb is third to the outside, moving into the turn. And then toward the inside is Final Accord. Ground support in between horses. Then Ultimate Love, who's racing 5 lengths off the lead and 2 lengths ahead of Imagination the Lady. Then Valentina, a length and a half farther back. Then Time to Dream, who races up on the outside of Infinite Sky as they head to the backstretch. Pacific Mission is second last. Queen of Hawaii is trailing through a 22.33 opening quarter mile. A very quick opening fraction here for Switch in Love, who heads up the backstretch with a 2-length lead. Celebrity Warrior is second by a length and a half. Brave Deb is third to the outside. Final Accord riding that rail through a 45.96 half mile, racing for the far turn. Ground Support is outside of horses. Now comes one inside with 4 lengths to make up, and Ground Support's making a strong middle move as they round the far turn. Ground Support coming up on the outside of Celebrity Warrior. They move up alongside of Switch in Love. From the back of the pack, right behind the leaders, here comes Imagination the Lady on the outside, and gaining ground as well is Ultimate Love in behind horses. It is Ground Support in front with 1 furlong to run. Up the rail, here comes Valentina, and she's charging through, and Pacific Mission is closing too, but it's Valentina who rides the rail to win it. Valentina close for second. It was either Pacific Mission or Ground Support.
I think I got the exacta
Europe
there.
is on the board. Donica O'Brien's Valentina,
10-12?
your winner here, and Medallion Racing heading to the winner's circle
10-11?
again today.
Come on, give it to me.
Congratulations to them as she storms home along the inside.
That's an extraordinary turn of foot she's shown.
Come on,
You
post my
mentioned
numbers.
beforehand, Christine, about horses quickening up, winning.
I thought
here
I
at
saw
Del
10,
Mar.
11,
She's
and
had to
12
do
in the
that
top
today.
3.
She was dropped out of the back, I think, by circumstance more than anything else, along with Pacific Mission. They were trailing early part of the race. Queen of Hawaii also slowly out the gates, but they've made up a lot of ground, and she also had to need a bit of luck, Joe, to get that run.
Yeah, really good ride, too. Coming from the 10 hole,
Come
you
on,
can
give
see
me the
she's
11
on
to
the rail
12
right
in
there. Has
second.
to wait a little bit for some run, and it looked like the number 11 Ground Support, a big long shot at 24-1. It was going to open up, and Wemby, you could see right about here is going to get run. And you guys talked about it, too. That turn of foot here at Del Mar, I think really paid off in the end there. Really good rail skimming ride there.
Did 11 hold on for a
You
second?
had to have a little luck.
I think
to
a 12's
get
not
like
it.
that, but you
I got
also had
either
to have
one.
the filly
Yeah,
dive
that's what I
for
said.
that
Yeah, I
spot
think
when
it. I think it was a
opened up,
12.
but she
It
really
was
showed
10, 12, 11, I
Perfect
think, but it could be 10,
combination of a
11,
filly who
12.
had
Yeah,
the
it doesn't
turn of
matter. I
foot,
got it.
and a jockey
I got 'em
in
all.
a Sheen Murphy who is riding at
Did
the
you have a
very,
exacta
very
or try?
top level anywhere in the world.
Exacta.
He's our champion
Nice.
jockey in the UK, and he is
So the
absolutely
10,
brilliant. He's shown
11
his
is
skills
paying
all over the world, including here at the Breeders' Cup in
only
the past. And he's
383,
held his nerve
and
by
the 12 is
holding that
paying
rail
a
position, and he
peculiar,
could have waited
tiny
and gone out
for
wide,
you,
taken back, but he
$170
waited for the gap, and sometimes you take
12
that
got
chance
it.
and it pays off.
Yeah, to your point, Richie, that's not an easy thing to do. I'm not, the
Yeah, man,
nerves can
170.
definitely be
Should have
big
played
at
that
point,
try.
especially at a big stage like this. But
Now you're
very,
getting
very
greedy.
good
God
ride, and
damn, that's all
I
right.
can't emphasize
That
it
try
enough.
is gonna
Going from
pay-
the 10 hole to be able to
that
get
try
to
is
the
gonna
rail
pay
at any
a
point in a
couple
turf
thousand, I
race is
think.
very,
Yeah.
very impressive. And
Can you mute
hats
them?
off. And that was her first time
sorry.
stretching out today too. So that's a very, very big performance there.
Joe, it looked like Sheen Murphy had to sort of idle for a few seconds.
Yeah,
He was waiting, trying
that
to decide
10,
am
I
going left, am
I
going
still
right, am I going to the
don't.
rail, am
I mean, I don't know
taking
enough
out
about
another
European racing, so I don't like to say too much.
hands the whole
But
time. She
that
was
thing
ready,
was
whether he was
flying
quite
late,
left
and
or
the
quite
12
right.
came flying late. The one that surprised me was at 11, who we kind of expected and they had been saying was on the lead and wanted the lead, and it just made that move early. And you don't normally think of a New York horse that wants to move fast because normally they're, dawdling on the pace in New York. And it was like, all right, you guys are going too slow. We're going to start moving. And probably moved a little bit too fast considering that it wasn't able to hold on, but it made the move early.
Yeah, I was surprised that one was able to hold on. I was throwing that one out for the most part of all my other considerations because of the front runner style, but did win the Miss Grillo.
Yeah.
So
Really did, and I thought she definitely outran her odds at 24-1. This is a really good.
well, I'm glad I'm doing the angle where I play the longer shots because this is Breeders' Cup. This kind of shit happens.
Yeah,
I should have played it for more money, but
Yeah, but then when you don't hit it for 7 times and you're out of money, and then the
I know.
9th time you would have hit it, that's where it gets a little bit frustrating. So yes, ideally you hit it for way more, but also, yeah, you hit it, you got $170 you just paid for the day on playing around with it.
For fans, it is so great to see.
And you could see with Pacific Mission with the 12, and I don't think she was going to catch our winner, but ended up taking that lateral route to the outside, and she's a couple lengths behind.
She has. I thought Colin Keane actually gave her a really good ride. She was a little
Yeah,
bit
the
slow
try
away
is going to
from the
pay
gates, but he took his medicine.
$12.39 for 50 cents.
ooh, $2,400 try.
Yep, and the $2 exacta was $3.40, so your dollar was going to be $170.
Good.
huge price on top here as Valentina 20 to 1.
Is it official?
In the Juvenile
Yep.
Phillies turf
good.
comes
Okay.
home on top here to the tune of
I don't need any
$43
surprises.
20 cents. Pacific Mission price in second at 14 to 1, 24 to 1 third with ground support. The scratch of Precise coming into the day. This may have been one of the shortest prices on the entire afternoon. When we woke up this morning, it certainly has turned out to be the exact opposite.
That super high 5 is a little big.
How much?
34,000 for 50 cents.
Yeah.
We'll turn the page
And
here
that was with
celebrating our most recent winner.
who was fifth?
Congratulations to Medallion Racing, all their partners, Donica O'Brien, Asheen
One.
Murphy, as
So the
Valentina
favorite
Okay.
takes the
ended
Juvenile
up being
Phillies
5th in there. 10, 12, 11, 3, 1.
This is now official. Number 10, Valentina was first. 12, Pacific Mission second. 11, ground support third. 3.
I don't know why they're letting the Oaklawn announcer come over to San Diego and announce, but I guess Matt Dinnerman can hang out for a little bit.
For a mile on the turf, 1 minute 35.07 seconds.
Well, he doesn't call the race. He just
does the announcements at the end. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it used to be Larry. No, not Larry. The announcer. What's his
Trevor
name?
Denman?
Trevor. Yeah. Because he would do it, and now that Larry's doing it for NBC and he's the Del Mar announcer, and I know that Matt's from San Diego, so I think that's what happened. Was they're like, hey, you want to come and do this?
Yeah.
Pretty sweet gig. All right, we're on to the big one.
This one's going to be fun. I
You
ended
think
up
so?
not. Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
I don't think Ted Noffey's going to win this.
I'm with you.
But I'm disappointed that Blackout Time is out because, I mean, it's good and bad because come next future, I'll still be able to bet Blackout Time and get a decent price.
Yep.
That's the only good thing about it. I still think Intrepido has a shot here.
Yeah. Going to be the third choice in the wagering. Looks like about 5 to 1. DRF projects Ted Noffey to go off at 1 to 2. Brant to be 6 to 5. Intrepido to be 5 to 1. And then the other three are all over 20 or 30 to 1. So all the money going through the top two, and then Intrepido kind of that weak third choice. So if you're playing it in any real way, you got to pick one or the other, or a whole bunch of money on an exacta, I would say. I mean, if that's how you're going to do this.
I think Noffey gets beat. I think it's one of the Bafferts in the top three and Intrepido. I don't get Mr. AP. I don't get that. I don't think Compert's capable, and I don't think Litmus is capable. I think this is a 3-horse race.
Yep. And that's definitely how it's getting bet. So I don't think you're going to get a whole lot of money, and if you do this in any way other than, if you throw out Ted Noffey from the top three and you just go, if you think Brant's the one, go Brant and then single, if you, in your opinion, go Brant over Intrepido over all but Ted Noffey, and hope, if you're right there, you're going to get paid okay. I don't think it's going to be anything life-changing. But
Well, okay, so if I put Ted Noffey on top and then I go Brant second and Intrepido third, which is very chalky.
Yep.
If I played it for like $50, what do you think the $1 one would be? See, 6 horses.
So I think a 50-cent will pay about $6 to $8.
6
So
to
then-
8, 6. So about 10 to 12 to 1, right? Is what you're
Yep.
thinking?
Yep. So yeah,
$50 would be
yes,
$600.
$600 to $800 would be my guess for 50.
That's not bad.
Yeah, I mean, the only problem you'd have, and what my math may not account for, is that there's only 3 other choices there, so it may actually be lower than that, because normally when you have, right, so it's like,
Well, let's see what the exactas are. Let's see what the 8-7 exacta is.
it's $3 or $4 for those two.
$3.
8-7 is 3, and 7-8 is 4.
Okay, so 8-7 is 3.
And that's for
I
$1.
think it might be closer to 10 to 1 for the try then.
It might be, but also
Yeah.
there's not enough money in there yet, right? I mean, we're what, 30 minutes till post? Yeah, about 30 minutes until we got to post. So
I think Brant I think the only one that could ruin this is Mr. AP. I don't get Mr. AP, but the betting public seems to agree with me. I would hate to bet this with Ted Nafi on top, and then my original hunch of Intrepido winning wins this thing.
Yep.
Let's see what 1-8 plays. 1-8. 1-8 pays $9. 9. And then that'll probably pay 20 to 1 for a try.
Well, yeah, I heard on the Twitter machine today that they got rid of the trifecta probables in Express Bet. But if you want, you can go and check to see if that's actually true or not. If you go to the probables here, you used to be able to see what the probables will be on trifectas in Express Bet.
Let me see here. This is the.
And also, we can turn off these old people giving each other awards and things. At least the mute button. They're less important than us, and that's hard to be is less important than us.
Okay, so let's see here. If they show the. How come I'm not getting payouts? Am I logged out?
Did you get your bet in?
No, it usually shows the try payouts.
Yeah, but what I heard on Twitter today was that they turned it off today and tomorrow.
Oh, there it is. Okay, there it is. Odds. No, I wasn't even showing the odds tab.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Probables. Yeah, they have it turned off.
That's
okay.
dumb. That's what we need as horse players is less information.
So 1-8 is still.
Yeah, it's gonna be that.
$10, 10 to 1. 1-9 is
1-7.
1-7.
Yeah, 15.
It's 30. It's 15 to 1. Okay.
Yeah, so I mean, if you put Intrepido on top, then you can kind of go 1 over 7, 8 over 7, 8, and you would get paid okay.
10.
But if you're playing 7, 8, or 7, 8, in either way, you got to kind of pick.
3.
You got to go cold with it, I think. And
6. How about this? How about leave Ted Nafi completely out of the try? Intrepido, Brandt. I guess it would have to be, well, then it's those 3 that are in the 20s. Mr. AP, Comport.
Yeah, so if you went 1-7 with 1-7 with all but Ted Nafi, you're probably okay.
Yeah, that might be the way to do it.
Really, if you went 7-1, it's a $13 13 to 1 exacta, and a 1-7 is $15 exacta. So if you did do a 1-7 with 1-7 with 8, because you think that Ted Nafi isn't gonna fall out of the trifecta given who else is running here, it's probably not going to pay terribly. You're probably going to get 10, 12 to 1. Probably better than that.
If I leave Ted Nafi in?
If you leave Ted Nafi in third, right? So you don't want to do a 1-7 with 1-7-8 with 1-7-8, because at that point it's what? $8, $6.
Yeah.
You're
it's
gonna
only
make
25% savings leaving him. Yeah.
But I think if you put him on top with, if you box him, you're just going to be too expensive, right? So a 50-cent try of 1-7 with 1-7-8 with 1-7-8 is $2. And I think for 50 cents it pays $12, $15. So I guess that's not terrible. And if you played it for a little bit more, and really if you thought that Brandt was gonna win, maybe play it for 5 with him, and then
I'll do it for 5. $40 bet
for
with Ted Nafi, and leave Brandt. And I like that.
And what I would actually, if you're spending $40, is I may just do it for 3 and then do it again with Ted Nafi all the way out. Because if you don't like Ted Nafi and you think he's, beatable, then I think there's a world where you play him where you just say, okay, toss him out, and then you really get paid. Because if you get him out of the top 3, you're going to get some money on that one.
So do a separate bet with Ted Nafi in third, just to get your money back, type thing. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, basically, I think that's
leave him out. So leave him out of the top, out of third.
Yep, leave him out of everything, and then play it again with him where you key him in third.
Okay.
Right. I mean, I think I'm with you. He just may just be the best horse on the day, and he's getting bet like he's the best horse in the day. So it makes me not want to play this one at all, just because I I really really want to beat him. As you know, I'm a big fan of beating the favorite, but it just feels like he may just be too good. I mean, he already beat Litmus Test. Litmus Test got beat by Brant. Who else is here, right? Where it's like, okay, it feels to me it's going to be 7-8 or 8-7, and then kind of anybody else, and it feels to me like it's going to be 8-7-1. So your original thought of playing a $50 one cold like that pays $6 for 50 cents is kind of the way that I would do it. But I've already lost enough money today that I don't feel like losing another $50. But that I think is the way that I would play this race, is to just go. The other three have no chance. Ted Nafi maybe won't be good beyond this, but he's a horse to beat right now, and so maybe just a cold 8-7-1.
I'm not going to put him on top.
Yeah, and that's the way to do it.
I humped up on the one where he came in third.
Yep.
And I bet more on the one where he's completely out.
I think that with your opinion, the way that your opinion is, I think that's the right play. I think my opinion is you put him on top. So we disagree enough that I don't think that's surprising. Normally it's, not me saying, hey, put the 1-2 on top, but I do think the 1-2 kind of smokes him here. So
if I did put him on top, I'd have to use one of those 20-to-1s.
You just have to bet more, and that's the problem.
Well, yeah, I'm gonna think about it. I got time. I might put him on top.
Yeah, if you do, then you got to get rid of the other bets, right? So that's sort of the way that you have to play this, because otherwise you're just basically boxing everybody.
You're over.
But you're doing a box in a weird way. So you don't like the 8, beat him, right? I mean, that's absolutely the way to do it. And
that's what yeah.
That's
I'm gonna stick to that.
Yeah, that's the move. Don't let me talk you into a 1-2 shot.
Yeah, you're right. I'm just gonna stick with it.
Yeah,
and hope
I mean, I
he's
think
out of the try. I think he
Yep.
could. I think if something goes wrong, he could still finish 4th, maybe even 3rd. I'm hoping not 3rd, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's really good. I also think he's really good against a meh group so far, and the ship may be enough to make him not be great.
Yeah.
I kind of think, like you're taking a 1-2 shot in a 6-horse field of 2-year-olds going a mile and a 16th, mile and an 1/8, mile and a 16th. Like, it's worth taking a shot on him against him. The only problem I see, like I say, is like he beat Litmus Test, which was the 6 year, and Litmus Test got beat by Brant, and so you can't say like, oh, this one beat that one, so this one will beat this one. It's not how horse racing works. If it did, it would be a very boring game. I'm going to make it a boring game today, at least in this race, where I just say Ted Nafi may not move forward from here, but beating a pretty weak group. If there were a couple others in here like Blackout Time, I think Blackout Time had a real chance to turn the tables on him. But I just don't think there's enough speed in here to wear him out, where he may just sit right behind these ones. And, if what you're saying is right, is that Brant actually is better than him, which, you hope for $3 million, he is better than him. I mean, Brant ran a really good. I mean, they're showing the replay of him here, and it's like he's a nice looking horse, but he's been off for a little while. He missed the last prep. I have a little bit of fear that he may just, may not want to go more than that 7 furlongs, which he looked all out enough going 7 furlongs there, that I'm a little bit afraid that Brant's not going to be the one to beat him. But I also am of the opinion that there's not much in here, so Brant may just gallop home for second, and we're going to see Ted Nafi, who's currently 3-5 and big favorite in the pick 3s. I mean, he's been hammered in every pool you can play him in. It feels like he's going to be your even money Derby favorite come the next pool come Thanksgiving weekend.
Well, I mean, you could look at it and say his first 2 races, who did he beat?
Yeah, who did he beat in the last?
But
race?
he did. Well, he did beat Blackout Time, who I like. I don't think Litmus Test is that good, but I thought Blackout Time was running with him. I mean, he wasn't that far back, and he was moving forward. He was gaining ground. Ted Nafi might have been, shutting it down early, but I don't know.
Yeah,
I just don't think Ted Noffey's as good as we think it is. He won by 8 lengths in September against who, and
Yep.
then he barely beat. I mean, he convincingly beat Blackout Time, but I just don't know how good Blackout Time is.
Yeah,
That's the
and
problem.
I think I agree with everything you're saying. The only problem I have is who's gonna beat him here, right? Where it's like,
Yeah.
they're just. It feels like this race came up somewhat short and somewhat empty. And while that may not be the case, is they may just be really good. It just feels like normally you get a couple more that are like, oh, where's the other Pletcher? Where's the other Brown? Where's
Yeah.
the other Baffert?
Yeah. This definitely doesn't feel like the real leaders of the Derby.
Yeah.
Other than maybe Ted Noffey if he's really that good.
Yeah.
But like I don't think these are Baffert's best horses, to be honest with you. I
Yeah.
don't think Brant's. I think there's somebody in the barn that hasn't matured yet that's gonna get much better than Brant is.
Well, you
I
hope
could be
for,
wrong.
Yeah, well, you hope for Zidane's sake, who spent $3 million on him, that he gets some of that money back, because he spent a lot of money on a lot of horses that haven't really.
That's a lot.
Yeah, I mean, and you figure Barnes got $3 million for Barnes last year, who kind of ran okay, right? I mean, he won the Keeneland last time out, but he has a lot of money and not a lot of wins.
Let's see what Fletcher has to say.
The Philly race earlier, he's been good away from the gate. He's got good natural early speed, so just kind of let Johnny play it off the break and decide, where he wants to be.
What have you seen from him since his top-level performance at Keeneland and taking him back to New York and now bringing him here?
He handles everything very professionally. He's laid back. He handled the ship in like an older horse. He's settled in well. He's been galloping nicely over the track, so he's showing us all the signs that we would hope for.
You've had a lot of wonderful 2-year-olds that turned 3-year-olds through the years, through your career. Does he compare to any that come to mind of the past, Todd?
He's always kind of reminded me of Forte. He's kind of similar physical, kind of a lightly made horse that you think is going to improve as he grows, fills out into that big frame. But, he's got a nice way of traveling, gets into a good rhythm. So I'd say probably him the most.
Good luck today, Todd.
Thank you.
Scott, thank you. Ted Noffey continues to make a nice appearance in the paddock, taking it all in stride as well.
Okay, well,
We gave you some races earlier with the race lens.
We've got a $5 no sweat bet on FanDuel. It's not much, but it's something. I'm going to take a little bit of a shot here and go with Intrepido on this one here.
That's absolutely the way to do that. I'm gonna copy you.
5-1. I mean, Brant doesn't make sense for that bet. Litmus. I don't like litmus test, Comport, or Mr. AP. I mean, I guess if I had to do another horse, it would probably be Mr. AP if you're doing a free $5 bet, but I don't think Mr. AP's got a chance.
Yeah, he doesn't look like he has a chance, I mean, in my opinion, to even hit the board. But, at least he's ran at Del Mar and has hit the board at Del Mar. I kind of have a soft spot for Comport. I don't think he's very good, but I have a thought like, oh, maybe Comport is actually good. He's just been racing against a meh group. Running second in the Iroquois at 6-5 makes me feel like he has. I mean, he was 1-5 at Ellis. He was 6-5 last out in the Iroquois. He getting 34-1 on him, or 25 currently, but looks like he's going to go up to 30 something. Certainly feels like you're getting at least value.
The $20 money back special on Naira bets, I might consider Brant for that. $20. He's got to finish in second to get my money back. And at 9-5, it's almost 2-1. I think that might be worth it on Brant.
Your clear third choice in here is Intrepido from the inside post. The ownership group celebrating a win earlier today with Queen Maxima in the turf sprint. Here's a look at Intrepido. He was the winner of the American Pharaoh, but Simon, that 3/4 of a length across the wire doesn't quite tell the full story of how impressive he was.
Correct. When you look at the race on paper, you see he wins by 3 parts of a length. But if you go back and watch the video, you'll see that he could have won a lot easier. He had a troubled trip. It was a lot to overcome. I think he got about 4 races of experience out of 1 race. He's the only horse that's, well, one of the couple of horses that's been around 2 turns twice. Just put a line through his first race. That was a prep race. He's proven at the distance. The only thing, Christina, is if he's good enough. That's the thing.
Let's go to Caton for more.
Okay.
Jeff Mullins with Intrepido. Jeff, how do you work out a trip from that inside post?
You're going to have to ask Hector that because I don't know.
He's done a pretty good job so far today, but do you hope that he shows some speed, or would you rather see him settle back?
I don't want him on the lead, anywhere near the lead. I mean, if he's, I'd rather see him sitting in the pocket and hopefully get some clear running room, but I don't want him fighting anybody on the lead.
His last 2 were sensational. Do you continue to see improvement and growth from him?
Yeah, he's improved. I mean, we've, you know, from the American Pharaoh to here, we haven't really had a lot of time. So we're just trying to keep him fresh and keep him from losing weight and keeping him happy. So hopefully we've done enough with him and Hector can do a good job, you know, working out a good trip.
Best of luck.
Thank you.
See that, Christina, with his, you can see that, Christina, with his workout pattern. 58 into the American Pharaoh, 5/8 and 58. He's coming back in 3 weeks, Michelle, and you got 52-104. They just want to get him into the race.
Yes and no. If you actually watch those works, though, Simon, they visually were not anywhere near as impressive. He wasn't in the bridle as well. Hector actually worked him, and I thought he was just being a little lazy, but Hector had to get after him, whereas prior to the American Pharaoh...
So I was texting with my friend Dr. Tang, who currently sitting 5th in the BCBC. Oh, hold on.
Certainly didn't look as flashy in these 2 most recent drills as he had prior.
I may have to move inside. These dogs are getting out of control. He's live in a double that would put him, if not in first, very close to first.
Oh,
so I'm excited for him.
What does he have here?
Yeah, he certainly
I'm not going to say because we're being watched by people, and you know, I'll just say that he's
let me know as soon as the race is over.
Yeah, I'll text you what's going on.
Okay.
Trying to keep the weight on him. He's a lightly raced individual, quick turnaround. Probably in the ideal world, he would have liked another couple of weeks, but he can't get it.
The number 2 blackout time is a scratch. Mr. AP is up next. 21-1 long shot, coming off a maiden victory by a nose last time out at Santa Anita.
Comport's going to be the 4-horse in here, 25-1. He's your longest shot on the board.
So I'll tell you that in the last race, the guy who's currently in second place loved the 10. He had a $500 show bet, a $1,000 place bet, $1,000 win bet, $500 win bet, a $1,000 show bet on the 10. So he jumped 564 places, and he's now sitting at 40,900. The guy in first is at 41,000, and my friend Dr. Tang got knocked down 4 spots to 9th, and he's at 22,000 currently.
Your 4 to 5 favorite is Ted Nafi under the silks of Spendthrift Farms. Super smart son of Inda Mischief, has been nothing but impressive in 3 career outs. He is a perfect 3 for 3 with 2 Grade 1 wins.
Looks great there on the track, doesn't he?
And that is your post parade for the FanDuel Breeders' Cup Juvenile, presented by the TAA. 10 minutes to make your decisions in terms.
What's timeout?
We're going to box it up. We're going to play a little exact in here. You know,
Probably.
I'm not sold on Brandt going long for the first time. That's what I like about Intrepido. That's going to be one of the horses I like in the box, is that we know he wants to go long. Talked to Jeff Mullins after he won last time out and said, is it an advantage when you know your horse has already won going long, because he broke his maiden going long too? And he said, yeah, you know you're going to have a full tank of gas when they get to the top of the stretch. With other horses, maybe they're only going to have a half a tank. So let's do an exacta box here. I know I'm not normally somebody that does a box, but I'm going to go Intrepido. And the favorite on the outside, that is Ted Nafi. So $10 box was paying, I just checked a minute ago, 1.7 was paying 11 for $1. 7.1 was paying 7. I think that's not too bad. Joaquin, you had to play as well?
Yeah, Dave, this is one of those races that kicks off a 2-day wager. FanDuel Breeders' Cup Juvenile to the big one tomorrow, the Longines $7 million Breeders' Cup Classic. Those are the 2 races. That's the double. Starting here in the FanDuel Breeders' Cup Juvenile, I can't go outside of Ted Nafi. He's been so impressive so far in 3 runs. He's 3 for 3.
That may actually
he handled the 2-turn test perfectly.
Who do you
Felt
like
he was
in the
pulling away late and drew off and won comfortably.
in the
He's
Classic
drawn the
tomorrow?
outside slot in 3
in the Classic.
Yeah, I mean, this is where you can do your 2-day double of, especially if you want to be against.
Yeah.
I mean, I bet that double is paying well in that not Ted Noffey double.
One Fierceness, the 5 Forever Young, who was third in the Classic a year ago, covered up down on the rail, chased that fast pace.
Yeah, that might be some good coverage actually.
Who do you like in it in the Classic?
Let me look at the.
Well, I'll tell you that
I want to see the morning line.
the 1 to anybody is paying better than $20 in the race tomorrow, and the 3 and the 4, well, contrary to thinking, the 3 is 144, and the rest are 28, and in the 30s and 40s. So that's a pretty good bet. The Ted Noffey to Fierceness is currently 7 to 1, and the Fierce, and then to the number 7 is 9 to 1. Who's a 7 tomorrow? Journalism?
I'm kind of backing off of Nevada Beach.
Smart, but
But
I was never going to talk you off a 20 to 1 shot.
But Antiquarian is kind of growing on me a little bit. But I kind of feel like it's that crop from last year. I kind of feel like Forever Young might be Forever Young's turn. Because Sierra Leone Forever Young. I kind of put Journalism a step below those. But Fierceness, I don't think, even though Fierceness had a nice run in the Pacific Classic, I think it's Forever Young or Sierra Leone, and I'm kind of leaning towards Forever Young this year.
Okay, so if you like, the Sierra Leone was a 7, so he's going to be second choice tomorrow. The 5 Forever Young with your number 1 is $26 right now. 1 to
26
5.
to 1 or 13 to 1?
26 to 1.
Sometimes that's a tough thing to do drawn out there. If you get hung wide, you're looking at daylight the whole
And actually, Forever Young is 8 to 1 with Ted Noffey, and Sierra Leone's 9 to 1. So, looks like Forever Young is currently sitting as what will be the second choice in tomorrow's Classic, which is not terribly surprising. But I'll be honest, I would have thought that Sierra Leone would be more bet than Forever Young.
The only thing that worries me is the frequency of Forever Young's races. That's the one thing that worries me. What, 2 races this year?
And I believe first time around 2 turns. I think
Something like that. Not very
Maybe
many.
1. I think might have been just 1.
Who?
Forever Young.
No, he had he's
2 races.
No, he has more. He raced oh wait, wrong one. Sorry. Yeah, he raced in 2 races. He raced the Saudi Cup, then the Dubai Cup, and then he ran in Japan. So technically it's the Japan race. He just raced in
Okay,
October.
so 2 early in the year. In what, January and February, and then 1 in when? August?
October.
October. Okay, so recent.
Yeah, that was his prep, and he. I'm looking at buyers. Who knows if he won or not? Let me change it real quick. Sorry, I assume he won. Yeah, he won. Yeah, by 2.5.
Another horse make an early move, and at that point, Tyler Gaffleon didn't really have a choice but to go and maintain his position. Unfortunately, just caught up with them late.
Yeah, and today I don't know what he's going to do because I do feel like Litmus Ted, I think, is faster.
Well, I don't think this race really affects the future pools.
Well,
for me anyway.
Yeah.
It's just the feel, like you said, the feel for this race just isn't what it normally is. Normally, you have 4 horses that could make an impact on the Derby, and really, it's going to be Ted Noffey unless he just drops an egg, or Ted Noffey and maybe if he runs well but doesn't win, maybe the winner, and that's about it.
Yeah, I mean, my feelings about Munnings or Into Mischiefs in winning the Derby, and I've been proven wrong over and over again, but I'm going to hold on to my Into Mischiefs aren't bred to win the Derby, so that's been proven wrong over and over again. Maximus Mischief, which is who Intrepido's sire is a son of Into Mischief, so now I'm really against him winning the Derby. So Ted Noffey also an Into Mischief, so no way he's going to win the Derby. So you should have all bet him prior to this. So he was really short in that Derby future pool.
So you're leaning back to Brandt and Mr. AP?
I don't think if there's one runner in the Derby, I would be surprised.
From this race?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would too. I mean, I think Ted Noffey could get to the Derby. I just don't think he's that good. He's gonna have let's see. He's probably gonna have an easier track if he's gonna run on the East Coast. I don't know if he's gonna do the Midwest route or the East Coast route. My guess is the East Coast route, but
yeah,
that's been an easy route lately.
Yeah.
I think what the 6 does is the key to this race in the early stages.
Yeah, so I'm going to put my double pool here now. I'm going to play Ted Noffey into Mind Frame and hope that I get some decent prices.
Is it pool closed? Did it close at 3?
The Derby pool did, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I didn't get anything on Plutarch, but I'm okay on that, I think. He was coming late, but I'll have another chance come Thanksgiving future too.
Even though that hasn't been the case previously. Watching his works, his most recent one was actually.
I'm just wondering if we're going to sit here and go, "Wow, is Ted Noffey really that good?" You know that conversation we've had.
Yeah. I mean, if he wins for fun and he has a great time and the speed figure comes back big, then I'll be wrong on another Into Mischief. But I'm willing to take a chance that he wins this race easily, and I'm not on him anywhere else moving forward, and hope that he comes back in the Holy Bowl or whatever random Gulfstream Park race he goes to, and he's got no chance there.
So what are you wagering here on this race? What's your play here?
I'm doing a $10. Well, I did a $50 try 871 because we talked about that one, and then I'm going to do a $10. I'm thinking Juvenile to Classic double, where I'm getting 15-1 on Mind Frame with Ted Noffey and 37-1 with Antiquarian. So
what are the two? They're who and who?
Mind Frame and Antiquarian. So it's 15-1 for Mind Frame and 37-1 for Antiquarian.
No, but who is the Juvenile pick?
Ted Noffey.
So 9. Was it 8?
8 with 10, 9, 10. Nope, sorry, 8 with 8, 10.
Won his first Breeders' Cup earlier today. Joe, what does he do
All
with
right.
Trepido as far as this pace here? You'd have to think they were disappointed with the inside draw.
Yeah, but saying that, I think
So I'm very hopeful that we get the 871. Sorry.
So
but-
$50 try here, 871.
Yep, just cold.
And then the $10 Juvenile Classic double,
Yep.
8 with 8 and 10.
Yep.
And then my money backs here are the 1, 3, and the 7. It's kind of, I don't know. Just because I had to use them, I had to do something. I just didn't use Ted Noffey.
Good luck to them. He's a price, but he is here to compete.
All right, good luck if you're wagering.
Some upsets already today on this Breeders' Cup program. Let's go to Larry Colmus for the FanDuel Breeders' Cup Juvenile.
Brandt has taken his position in the starting gate. We're just waiting for the last two. Comport to go in and Ted Noffey. Ted Noffey going in. They're all in line. They're off in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile. And they go right out to the front together. Brandt and Ted Noffey away 1-2. Mr. AP came out running in third. Then Comport, Litmus Test on the outside, and Trepido is the trailer, and Brandt will be the leader, but Ted Noffey is not far behind. He's a half length behind on the outside, 7 furlongs from the finish. Now Brandt's going to get a little bit of daylight here and open up a length and a half. And then it's Mr. AP third, Litmus Test is fourth, 4 lengths off the lead just ahead of Comport and the trailer in Trepido. Brandt leads Ted Noffey onto the backstretch through a 23.46 quarter. A moderate tempo for this group as they continue their journey with 5 furlongs to go. Then Mr. AP third on the inside. Litmus Test is fourth just outside of him. Then comes Comport. In Trepido is the trailer. These two favorites have been 1-2. They went 46.99 for a half mile. Flavian Pratt and Brandt Into the far turn, John Velasquez and Ted Noffey just a half length behind. And then it's Mr. AP third with 3 furlongs to go. Litmus Test is fourth, Intrepido and Comport. Around the far turn, Brent and Ted Noffey. They have been together throughout, and now their noses apart. These two grays will come to the top of the stretch together in their bi-coastal battle, and they're into the stretch, and Ted Noffey has taken the lead from Brant with 1 furlong to run. And then comes Mr. AP third, Ted Noffey there at the 16th pole. Brant
Come back!
not done yet. He's coming
Here
back.
comes AP!
Mr. AP's at a 2. Here's the wire. Ted Noffey did it. Ted Noffey wins the Breeders' Cup Juvenile over Mr. AP. Brant was third, and Litmus Test was fourth.
You are looking at an
$3 million.
undefeated son of Into Mischief, your Breeders' Cup Juvenile champion in Ted Noffey, and firmly stapling himself as the horse to watch for next year's Kentucky Derby.
Yeah.
I mean,
Is
look
he?
at him galloping out right here.
No.
Still has
No.
his
That was
nose
too
up
close.
in an absolute
That was
gallop.
too close.
I love this
Because
horse's
Brant's not
demeanor.
the best
Brant
bapper.
went to the lead.
Yeah,
Johnny
well, Mr.
Velasquez
AP
was
got
right
second.
off of him,
Like,
turning for
what are we
home,
talking
still
about
had
here?
momentum. And
Right.
to Michelle, to your
Yeah,
point,
it's not. It's a nice 6-horse race, but
Yeah.
it's not.
kind of waiting a little bit, and then
He's
when the field
undefeated.
came
Okay.
down,
Yeah,
he just had
Mr.
those
AP got
gates where he
claimed for
knows exactly what he has to
$150,000
do.
in a maiden claimer at Del Mar, where he was even money and he didn't win. Then he came
away.
back in a maiden race a month later and couldn't win and lost to Christopherson. And then finally went to Santa Anita and won at a mile. So he finally got the distance he wanted, and he won by a nose at 3 to 5, and he just got second in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile. I will throw this race out in any way moving forward in some like big way, right? I mean, these are good horses, and I would love to own any of them. But these are not. They most certainly don't seem like they should be Derby horses.
Go to his feet a little bit and righted the ship very quickly, establishes the rail, and I thought Flavian, you know, it looked like
So my friend Dr. Tang just hit that double for $200, which he just hit his minimum, and it's going to pay about $5,000.
They really slowed it down, and
So it's going to put him high up there in that in the BCBC with 1 race to go. Oh, I guess he's. I did math wrong. Nick tried to do math, and I thought he was going to hit for 50, and he hit for 5. So never mind. He'll be top 5 again.
You know, they were pushing on Brant going out of that
Well,
turn.
Intrepido never fired. He was just too far back early. I know he didn't want him anywhere near the lead, but I thought he should have been closer to the mix. But he probably isn't good enough anyway.
Probably on top of him, and it's a great feeling, right, Joe? You know what's underneath you. Us sitting here in the stands probably thinking, go, go, go.
All right. Well, I've wasted enough time with you. I have to go and be a father again. So I will. I'll talk to you tomorrow.
All right, you'll be able to come on for a bit tomorrow.
I'll be on for some tomorrow. Yeah.
All right, sure. We'll see you then, Nick.
Yep.
Thanks, Scott.
See ya.
Take
Honestly,
care.
a great job by Freysu. He kept him there on the rail. He was loaded, and he was sitting here kind of looking for this spot, and he really got after this horse when he angled him out and got him out of the dirt a little bit. He put in a very good closing kick. He's not going to reel in Ted Noffey, but he sure gave it the old college try.
I mean, for a second right here, it looked like he was going to have a shot right there in the end. But to your point about Ted Noffey, you could see he almost knows what he has to do when he gets in front. And I kind of think that's why Johnny maybe waited a little too late, because he knows when he gets in front, he might want to wait a little bit. And even Brant in the end, he's really trying to. He was trying to battle hard.
At the 8th pole, well, 3/16th pole, 8th pole, Brant looked like he was going to get beat 2 or 3 lengths. And then inside the 16th pole, he was only down by a head. He came back. He managed to finish 3rd. And you can see here in the tight ISO replay, Ted Noffey on the outside. There's a lot more left under the tank. I don't think he gives you, you know.
Johnny's not even down yet. Flavian's down shoving. Johnny's still in gallop position.
Yeah, watch Brant down on the inside. At this point, you think it's Ted Noffey's going to go on about his business. He opens up 3 parts of a length. But look, when they ask Brant, he comes back right here. I mean, he might almost get in front of you. Yeah, pretty close.
There. But it also speaks to the class of Ted Noffey and how much he had left.
Yes.
It pushed him along to give a little more.
Exactly.
That laid-back demeanor is not just in the paddock. He is a horse that's kind of going to do what he needs to get by you.
And I think for a horse looking at the big picture going forward, that character trait, I think, really lends well to a tough campaign, say a 3-year-old Triple Crown campaign.
It has gone official, and there are 183 days until the Kentucky Derby. Spendthrift Farm, I'm sure, Derby dreaming already. Congratulations, as Ted Noffey takes the Breeders' Cup Juvenile.
This race is now official. Number 8, Ted Noffey was first. Second, number 3, Mr. AP. Third, number 7, Brandt. Fourth, number 6, Litmus Test. And fifth was number 1, Intrepido. 8-3-7-6-1. Your top 5 finishers now official. The final time for 1 mile and a 16th, 1 minute 42.25 seconds.
Well, kind of a nice race to watch. Not a great betting race, but did get 2 of my money back specials back. Lost the Intrepido money back, $10, but made it back up with the $20 money back on Naira bets. The $20 money back was with Ted Noffey, so that one returned $36. So it made a couple bucks, not a whole lot, but wanted to take advantage of the money back specials. Just not enough horses in this juvenile field to make any real money, and kind of interesting to see. I'm glad that Nick and I both agree that Ted Noffey, even though he is the current Kentucky Derby favorite, I don't believe this one will. I think this one will get in the Derby. I just don't think this one will be a big threat. He'll lose. He'll lose at some point, I think, in March or April.
Ted Noffey is a 2-year-old gray roan colt by Into Mischief out of Streak of Luck by Old Fashioned. Ted Noffey was bred in Kentucky by Aaron and Marie Jones, LLC. Now owned by Spendthrift Farm, trained by Todd Pletcher, John Velasquez, your winning rider. Cheers to the breeders, Aaron and Marie Jones, LLC.
So I think with this win, he'll have 30 points. Because I think he came in. I think he came in with 10 points, and this is a 20-point race.
For 2-year-olds going 1 mile. Scratch number 15, the also eligible. 31 minutes. Post time 5:25. Again, 31 minutes until the nightcap. Race 10, the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Turf.
So the next race, the Juvenile Turf, is an excellent betting race. I think I may play a superfecta here.
Hey, you know what I'm thinking?
Let me turn this volume down.
What are you thinking? Hawks, Pelicans, Raptors, dinosaur parlay. Okay. I feel like mascots should affect the over/under. No. Try saying player props 3 times fast. Player props.
So hit a nice exacta, the 170 to 1 payout. That was a nice hit, and then just hit the $20 money back with Ted Noffey. That one didn't pay much, but it's pretty much covered my wagers so far. So I think we may have lost a few bucks, but Juvenile Day is kind of a tough day. It hasn't had the big payouts that I was hoping for, other than the exacta that I hit. I should have played the try there. Would have been a much better day. It would have been a $1,700 to 1 payout. But we didn't get that. We were just playing the exactas. But the next race is the Juvenile Turf. I want to check the field size. 14 horses. So this should still pay well, even though this is very favorite friendly, I believe. Let me take a look here.
Bright future, standing at Claiborne Farm. Douglas trusts Prevagen for his brain, and this is his story.
I'm Douglas, and I'm from Chicago. I was looking for something specifically for my brain.
Yeah, it has about a 10% favorite win rate. So I'm sorry, favorites don't win this very much. So this is an excellent betting race. Last year was just the 4th year of a single-digit return of 980. So most returns are over $10. You want to use the Aiden O'Brien runners, and you have to watch for the Appleby entries. I believe Aiden's won the last 2 years. The Euros are 13 of the last 18, and all 3 at Del Mar. So you want to use the Euros here. In fact, we may be doing a Euro trifecta here. The new market preppers are definite use here. Want to use them. They've had 6 winners overall in this race. The horses that prep in France are also do very well here. Especially Longchamp, Chantilly, and Devol. Belmart leads the U.S. preppers as far as U.S. horses go with 3 winners. That Pilgrim Stakes has produced 3 of the last 7 winners, with 6 last year. Of the new market winners, well, going back to the last 17, 5 of the last 17 winners exited new market. 4 of them from the Dewhurst Stakes. You want to avoid California horses in the exacta in this race, and you want to use Frankie Dettori or Ryan Moore in these races. Favorites usually hit the board, but not first place. Use them underneath. Horses far back early hit the try, so we'll look and see if we can find one there. I think I had one in mind. It's very deep closer friendly in the trifecta. And then Aiden O'Brien is, of 24 races, he's won 7 times and has second place finishes. Charlie Appleby in 7 entries, he's got 3 wins, a second and a third. And just kind of a side note, kind of a weird side note, Mark Cassie is 0 for 17 here. So let's look for some Euros here. And I'll go ahead and let this audio go while I'm looking for a bet.
As the official partner and official timekeeper of the Breeders' Cup World Championships, Longines is proud to time the iconic Longines Classic race. The Swiss watchmaker is looking forward to highlighting the official watch of the event, a model from the redesigned Prima Luna collection with a blend of classic Roman numerals, lustrous dials, and meticulously executed details. This collection speaks to those who understand that genuine luxury arises from the confidence of impeccable craftsmanship. FanDuel is proud to sponsor the FanDuel Breeders' Cup Juvenile, presented by the Thoroughbred Aftercare Alliance, supporting our retired equine athletes.
One more race to go on Future Stars Friday here from Del Mar. Welcome back to the Players Show. Christina, Simon, Joe, and Rishi with you. We're going to take a look back now at a few stats from the most recent race. And taking a look, Ted Nafi on top, Mr. AP finishing second, Brant third, Litmus Test holds on for fourth. A big finish from Mr. AP, actually, if you take a look at some of his late numbers.
Late speed, 35 and 0.4 miles an hour. Yeah, he was closing late. Interesting horse for him to look forward to down the line as the distances get longer. I think he's going to get a little better as well. But true, very professional performance from Ted Nafi here this afternoon.
24 minutes until race number 10, the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Turf. Let's take a look at a few of the competitors.
Jockey Ryan Moore and trainer Aiden O'Brien are on a 3-year winning streak in the Prevagen Breeders' Cup Juvenile Turf. Last year here at Del Mar, it was Henri Matisse that took them back to the winner's circle. The first of their 7 combined wins in the juvenile turf came back in 2011 when Rote powered away from the field. The last U.S.-based winner came in 2020 when Fire at Will pulled off the upset at Keeneland for trainer Mike Maker and jockey Ricardo Santana.
Fire at Will to the front and drawing clear for Ricardo Santana Jr. in the juvenile turf.
This is the $1 million Breeders' Cup Juvenile Turf.
"23 minutes until race number 10 on the program, as we'll round out the day with the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Turf Grade 1 event. We get back to the turf course, and Stad from the outside post. We expected him to be your favorite. He was 9-5 on the morning line. He is 2-1 right now, Rishi, despite the outside draw and those concerns.
I still have concerns. He's the best horse in the race. If this was a conventional 1-mile race, he has to prove he stays the mile because he's only been 7 furlongs. But he's got a lot of class, and he ran a fantastic race in the Dewhurst at Newmarket that established him as one of the best 2-year-olds in Europe.
Cheers to the breeder. We take a look at the breeders of all of the competitors in here. In terms of the price right now, Rishi's at 2-1. What's too low in terms of at least value for you? Are we already too low for a win wager on Stad with the outside draw?
I still feel it's too low, considering he has to prove he stays a mile, and he was keen in the early part of the Dewhurst Stakes, and he's drawn in 14. You take those things away, and he should be odds on. But those elements just make it a little bit more doubtful about his suitability for a mile drawn out wide and being a bit keen in the early part of the race.
22 minutes now until this race. Let's go to Scott.
Aidan O'Brien sending out Stad from this outside draw. Aidan, it's been talked about since the draw. It is what it is. Yeah. What does he and Christophe Soumillon need to do from this outside post position to be successful?
Yeah, I think Christophe will make up his mind when he comes out. He's big, powerful, strong, long-striding horse. So Christophe knows him. He's ridden him his last twice, I think. He's big, he's powerful, and yeah, we've always loved him. So looking forward to seeing him run.
What's impressed you most about the races that you've seen from him this year too?
Yeah, he's a big, long striding horse. He cruises, and he's always finishing. Usually, in every distance he ran over, he's always finishing. And things haven't went his way his last 3 runs. So hopefully he runs well.
Good luck, Aidan.
Thanks, pleasure. Thank you.
Simon, we talk so often about horses in Europe getting a little further distance-wise when they come here to the States. Why is that in that transition? Do they get a little bit more ground here?
It's a good point. And horses that get 6 furlongs in Europe can obviously get a mile here. The tighter configuration of the U.S. racetrack is less demanding. I mean, no 2 racetracks in Europe are the same. I think Richie can kind of comment on that. And some of the a 6 furlong trip at track X can be very demanding in Europe, right? And you come here to the States, you're going a quick mile, you're on the turn, and I think 6 furlong horses get a mile horses can get a mile and a quarter. I think Gestalt can get the distance here, but to your point, I think it's more about getting cover and not seeing daylight from that outside post. Would I be correct in that?
Absolutely right. That'll be the issue. In the Dewhurst Stakes, as I mentioned, early part of the race, he'd used up quite a lot of energy racing Keen in Christophe Soumillon's hands, and it just left him a bit vulnerable. In the end, he's beaten by Guéwan, the horse in the white cap, the grey horse out in front. There's some good horses in behind him, in fairness. Zavatiri, who's in the black sleeves with the white colours, has actually been one of the best 2-year-olds of the season. The horse down on the inside, Distance Storm, might turn out to be a Godolphin 2,000 Guineas contender, and he's right in there amongst it. But obviously, that's 7 furlongs at Newmarket, and he's not closing down the winner at the line. He's just staying on at that one pace, and he was keen. They've got another furlong to go. Admittedly, not as stiff a furlong as at Newmarket, but a little bit more distance to ground, and on a course where he's going to be stuck out wide.
Is there a concern that he keeps losing these photos? Second by 3/4, second by a head, second by a neck.
I personally wouldn't be that concerned about him. I think his attitude is fine. He's bumped into some really good horses. We touched on it earlier. We were talking about Venetian Sun. She's a high-class filly. You know, Guéwan, he's only had 1 disappointment in his career. And the Dewhurst is always a high-class race. So he's in and amongst the very best, which you would think in Europe for a 2-year-old who's that level coming here, that puts him as the standout horse, which he is. but just a few challenges too much at 9-5.
Last year, we saw 6 trainers break through with their very first Breeders' Cup victory. We have quite a few young horsemen poised to do that here in this race. Let's listen in with our reporters.
Riley Argos was successful in the summer, a race that's been very productive for the Breeders' Cup. What did he show you that day?
Well, I mean, he sat a very nice trip, rated behind horses, and when Flavian got him out at the 3/16, he came with a very big kick. So I thought, I think it's pretty conducive for a race like this, and we'll have to outkick a lot of really nice horses coming down the lane today.
Ideal positioning-wise, where would you like to see him early?
I would imagine there'd be a little bit of a brisk pace, so hopefully Flavian can get him over and just sit sort of in the second flight, but just kind of leave it up to Flavian. He's the man.
Finally, you've been over here many times, but this is the first time as a trainer in your own right with a horse. What are you feeling?
Just a lot of gratitude to my team and all the people that helped me get here, and the horse, of course, and the ownership. So just a lot of people to thank, and we're ready for more.
Best of luck.
Thank you.
Improving horses. Argos off of a nice win in the Summer Stakes.
Trainer Miguel Clemente has the 12 in here, a Botas who's undefeated, a perfect 2 for 2, won comfortably in his debut, but he had to fight last race. What was your assessment in the Pilgrim?
Yeah, I agree. Very impressive. Showed the experience that needed to do it. And, his debut was rather uneventful, small field, and he did it impressively. Third start, so it was a bit of an experience trip, but the ability is there.
Usually in the Breeders' Cup, you stretch out in distance. You don't cut back in distance. Does the 8 furlongs hurt him with the wide draw?
No, no whatsoever. He's a good horse, and he'll look after us. It's up to Manny from that draw. They need to work out a trip, because it's a good field, but he's got the ability to do so.
Good luck to you and the team.
Thank you very much.
Let's go back to Argos first. Simon, I know you really like this horse, the 9. He's a son of Nyquist. He's 2 for 3 lifetime. And that last race, as you mentioned, at Woodbine, different configuration this year than in years past with the construction going on there. It sets him up well, though, for a race here at Del Mar.
It does. It was a 2-turn race. Normally, that's a 1-turn mile. It's a 2-turn mile on the inner turf there. So I think he's proven he can handle that. I think he's a horse that's on the improve. The Nyquists... Hey, look, he's a Kentucky Derby winner, but his offspring run exceptionally well on the turf. So I think he's got as good a shot as any in here, especially if the favorite stubs his toe here from the outside draw.
Johannes would be the best example of that. A son of Nyquist over this turf course, nearly undefeated. We'll see him in the mile on turf tomorrow. Argos on your screen at 6-1. We also heard from Miguel Clement with the 12 Botas at 13-1. And Will Walden looking for his first Breeders' Cup victory as well. He's standing by.
Here with Will Walden, who has the 7 in Gordon Pass, where you look a couple starts ago, 2 back, he was up on the pace. What led to your horse being further back in the early stages last race?
I think he was asked pretty much the whole way, and that maiden break in Score at Indiana. He was Luan, asked him to be up there. Whereas this last race, it was a bit quick pace, and Christian Torres, first time ride him, didn't really ask him to get up in there, and he kind of found himself at the back. I think he wants to close. That's kind of his style. I imagine Irad will have him a little closer today, probably mid-pack.
How'd he bounce out of that 3rd place finish last race?
Yeah, great. I thought his work last Thursday at Churchill with Irad aboard, I thought it was as good as we could have expected. He's coming into a grade. He just kind of takes leaps and bounds out of his races. We'll see if it's good enough.
Good luck, Will.
Thank you. Appreciate it, Joaquin.
Good luck to Will Walden. The 7 Gordon Pass up on the board at 30-1 right now. Here's a look at him. Joe, what did you make of his chances on form and on paper, Gordon Pass?
I mean, the positives, he is on the improve. Each one of his 3 career starts, he's improved on the buyer scale. Now, saying that, I do think he's going to have to take a big jump forward today to move forward and get in the winner's circle. But I thought he ran a sneaky good 3rd in the Bourbon, kind of like the Jessamine for Phillies at Keeneland, where they went a touch quick early and slowed it down really good those preceding quarters. Same thing in the Bourbon. They went 23-3. Each one of the quarters after that, they went 25. So he came from way back to close into some very slow fractions. He was a huge price that day, 52-1, as he is today at 30-1. But nonetheless, he is on the improve.
I think one horse, Christina, we should talk about is the 3 outfielder before they get out on the track at 10-1. Rishi, you probably saw this horse run in the pre-morning. I know he had some issues at the gate. He was taken out of the starting gate, I think, before the race, checked by the vets. Yep. But despite all that, he still ran pretty close to Gestalt that day.
look at that form.
Yeah.
It's outstanding. Venetian Sun won the race. She's one of the best fillies in Europe. She has been this season. Wise Approach, Gestard. Wise Approach won the Middle Park Stakes. So the form from top to bottom in that race is really good. The only thing for me watching Outfielder run in that morning is that the last furlong of the race, they're running away from him, the front three.
The mile.
So I have a question mark about him for the trip.
Owned by Ammo Racing. They've got their retained rider, David Egan, aboard, and just announced Frankie Dettori going to be their global ambassador.
That's right. Ammo Racing, Wesley Ward, and Jason Worth and his Icon Racing in partnership with Outfielder. Scott caught up with him.
Well, Jason Worth here with Outfielder and a strong team behind him, and Wesley Ward, Ammo Racing. What are the expectations coming into this race as Wesley kind of changed things up and pointed him towards a route race versus the sprint?
Yeah, I think this has been the plan the whole time. I mean, we kind of went back and forth between dirt and turf, but Wesley had him pointed to the Breeders' Cup all along. We scratched out of the race in London there, and we ran in Deauville off a layoff, and we ran against some good competition. Ran against one of maybe the greatest fillies ever, and ran fourth. But came back strong, and this is the type of race I think Wesley's been pointing to the whole time. So here we are. This is the Breeders' Cup. It's some of the toughest competitions in the world for 2-year-olds, and we're live. I think we got a shot.
It's one thing to come to the races on these big days, but it's another thing to show up and have live runners like you have gotten used to over the last couple of years. How addictive has this sport been in trying to get horses to these big days?
Yeah, it's crazy. We've had a lot of success early on here. It's not lost on me. I know how tough the sport is. I know how tough winning is, and we've been fortunate. We've kind of picked the right poison along the way, and Wesley dreamed this thing up. I walked into the facing Tipton sale at Saratoga, and 30 seconds after I was there, Wesley was walking across the paddock, pointing at me like, "I got a horse for you." So we got Kia in with Ammo Racing. Kia's been doing great things in the sport. We're riding his silks today with David Egan. David's a contract rider for Kia and Ammo Racing. He's coming across the pond to ride Outfielder here in the big race.
Good luck today, Jason.
All right, thanks a lot.
Outfielder up on the board now at 9-1 as he takes a little bit of money. 2-turn test for the $850,000 son of Speightstown today with David Egan in the saddle. Post parade begins, Simon, with Here's Johnny at 20-1.
Yeah, here's Johnny. Big number down on the inside. He's still a maiden. He's looking to win his first career race in a Breeders' Cup event here. That's a tough task. That's why he's 20-1.
The number 2, Street Beast, is up next. Juan Machado aboard for Ben Colebrook, coming off almost a 2-month freshen, and is a horse on the improve in all 3 career starts, coming off a nice win at Kentucky Downs in his last start.
Horse number 3 is indeed Outfielder. David Egan, I think, will be a good jockey booking because I think he'll have to use a little bit of patience to allow this horse's potential stamina to come into play. He's got a lot of ability. That form of the Pre-Morny is very strong, but he will need to prove that he sees a mile out, and that was the question mark for me about him.
Yeah, the ability to settle and finish and get him to stretch out. The 4/3 bear, 40-1, is the second longest shot in the field here for trainer Tim Yakteen. Finished second in the Zuma Beach last time out, a kind of a local prep here in Southern California.
Here's the number 5, Let's Be Frank, one of 2 maidens in here, has 2 career starts on the turf, 2 third-place finishes. Juan Hernandez is going to be aboard for trainer Michael Maker.
6 is North Coast, who's won a couple of times in Ireland this season. His most recent run there behind Zavateri and Stad in the National Stakes was disappointing. Hopefully the better ground that he encounters today will be in his favor.
Gordon Pass, another long shot.
Oh, get this going back again.
2-1.
Stark Contrast is going to be up next. Big long shot at 45-1. Kazushi Camaro aboard for Michael McCarthy, coming off back-to-back wins ever since getting on the grass, won the Zuma Beach last time out.
9 is Argos, who's won 2 of his 3 starts. He's clearly got a lot of ability. Last time out, I thought he was lucky to win. Wild Desert didn't get the best run, but hopefully he'll carry on improving.
Ardesia, you could probably speak more to this horse than me. Rishi, 11 starts already as a 2-year-old.
Yeah, you can rule out the first 5 of those because once this horse was gelded, the form has taken off. You watch his time form rating soar from in the 40s to the 90s.
Good info. The 11 Turf Star at 40 to 1, big price here. This was the horse that finished second in the Bourbon last time out for Grand Motion.
And the 12, Botas is up next. It's 2 for 2. Hasn't done anything wrong. Broke his maiden very nicely up at Saratoga, going 2 turns, then wheeled right back in a grade 2 at Belmont Aqueduct, winning by a head.
13 is Hey Nene. I thought Stard was a big horse, and then I saw Hey Nene next to him, and they're both enormous. This horse is unbeaten. He's clearly got plenty of ability. Obviously, the outside draw, an issue.
And there's Start to the outside, the 14. You can see he's on his toes. I could see what you're kind of saying. If he takes that to the race, he could be a little aggressive. The ability to sit and relax is going to be key for him.
That's your field with 8 minutes until post time for the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Turf. To Dave Weaver to see how to play this race.
Well, certainly Stad going to be involved, and when you go back and watch his last race, he was lathered up a little bit on the neck, and noticing there in the post break, he did not have that, so he looks to be nice and relaxed here in his stateside debut. But there were 2 American horses that impressed me, one of them being Street Beast with his big win last time out at Kentucky Downs. We saw some impressive wins at Kentucky Downs this year, but I can't remember another one where we had a 7-length gap from the winner back to the second place finisher. He absolutely destroyed this field. On Machado going to try to get a Breeders' Cup win here. And I think Street Beast is able to do it. You know, he has an advantage drawn inside against the favorite who's way on the far outside. So at 10 to 1, he's a must use, and so is the 3 outfielder. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to box it up. Remember, money back special, one more chance here before we do it again tomorrow. Exacta box. We're going to use the 2-horse, Street Beast. We're going to use the 3 outfielder. Jason Work told you they were always pointing to go long. He was awesome last time out. Finished up strong at 6 furlongs, and then Stad on the outside. Ideally, if it comes 2-3 or 3-2, that would be the best. But even if the 2 or 3 can get in there with the favorite, we're going to make some money here. That's the way I'm playing it. Let's check in with Scott Hazelton.
Well, trainer John Sadler looking to add to what has been already a very productive day with Hey Nene here coming in outside draw. What does this outside draw do for your hopes?
You know, it's not the draw that you would pick, but you have to go with what you got. I imagine we'll want to try to get up and over, so that's the best way to go for this horse. You know, some horse, the other way to go is to grab and, you know, drop in on the first turn, but we'll be forwardly placed.
What's most impressed you about this horse in his recent 2 efforts from 5 furlongs up to a mile?
He's very mature. He's not babyish. He has good speed and he can carry it. So he's just a nice horse to have in the barn.
Good luck, John.
Thank you.
This is a serious horse, and they are respecting him in the wagering. He's 6 to 1 right now, the 13, Hey Nene. And we've talked a lot about Stad and a lot of the other big name competitors in here, Argos. They will have to catch him. Hey Nene is going to be forwardly placed, if not on the lead.
And he doesn't have the best of posts either, way out there at the 13-0. But I think to his advantage, what you just said, he does have a lot of speed. I don't think he necessarily has to be in front. His last race, he settled right off the pace very nicely in second and ended up winning by a length and a half. And he has an advantage. He's 1 for 1 here at Del Mar. I do think in the end, outfielder coming out of those sprint races might be a touch quicker. But saying that, Hey Nene, I think is going to be, if not on the lead, just right off.
How would you like them to ride outfielder in this race? Imagine you're David Egan and you've never ridden him before in a race of this nature. But more importantly, you've got a horse that you think has got a bit of speed going up 2 furlongs in distance, drawn down on the inside. Would you want to be aggressive, or would you rather hope that something comes out and takes a lead from you?
I would definitely be intent on going. I would use that inside post to my advantage, knowing there's only one other horse, this one right here, the number 13, Hey Nene, that is quicker. But Joel Rosario is a smart rider. He knows that outfielders coming out of sprint races and doesn't want to get in a speed duel. Nonetheless, he is going to be somewhat aggressive. That way he's not, 3, 4, 5 wide around the first turn. But saying that with outfielder, I would almost take it to him early, try and not go silly quick, but try and open up 2 or 3, play catch me if you can.
And real quick, as we look at the stats on August there, thanks to our friend at DRF Formula, I don't think you have to, you don't have to ask outfielder that much, Rishi, because he's coming out of sprint races. By default, he's going to fall out of them very naturally quick. He's got 2 horses to the inside of him. that are not as quick, I think he gets the lead fairly easily. The worst thing I think he can do is come out, take back, have 9 or 10 horses come over on top of him, and then it becomes a wrestling match.
I would have, if he was my horse, I'd ask them to do that.
Would you? Anchor out of the gate?
Yeah, because I think there's going to be plenty of pace, and I think they're going to be flying on top of them. And Christina mentioned earlier on when we were talking about horses finishing in this race, here at Del Mar, you want horses that got that instant turn of foot.
Yeah.
And I'd rather deploy it late rather than use up any of his juice early on. But that would be my thinking.
Yeah, to me in this race, Argos is the horse that lengthens.
Yes.
I don't know if he's the one that turns over. And we saw it with Asheen Murphy in the fillies with Valentina. What a ride he put on that filly. He's on Ardesia, the 10, and here at 21-1, one of the horses on your double here. Are we going to get the same time to trip from him again?
I hope so. Annoyingly, for someone who's backed Ardesia, it's exactly what he produced on Valentina. I want him to do on Ardesia. So whether lightning's going to strike twice, I'm not so sure. But I think the horse will travel really well. He'll be in behind horses, and I think he'll finish off his race quite well. And then, of course, I'm worried about the ability of Stad, so I've included him in my daily double with the Juvenile turf. And then tomorrow in the Breeders' Cup turf, the horse that I think a lot of people think is the best one of the Europeans now that Poseidon's out is Mini Hawk. I think she'll win that. But I am worried about one horse in that race, and that's Goliath. I hear Francis Graffard speaking really highly of him, and we were talking about his King George win earlier in the week from 2024, where he beat Blue Stocking, the Arc winner. He beat Rebels Romance. He beat Auguste Rodin. That's high-class form. If that's the Goliath that turns up tomorrow, he's a massive player.
I do want to mention the pick six, and we're going to take a look at Simon's trifecta play here as well. The $1 pick six will pays. How would you like to be alive for $89,000 to the favorite, to Stad? All the way up to $535,000 in terms of those payouts. The 8 horse is the only runner that's not covered in the pick six. That would carry over to tomorrow, and it would be mandatory, as the Breeders' Cup is its own separate program. So keep that in mind in terms of this pick six. Simon, tell us about your trifecta real quickly.
Well, I've got a four horse trifecta box here, so I need any 3 horses here to come 1, 2, 3. And looking at the prices, it's okay. The 3 at 10-1, the 9 at 6-1, the 13 at 6-1, and the 14 at 6-5. So I've used outfielder. Argos is my top pick, and I totally concur with you. You know, Argos does lengthen. He hasn't got that turn of foot, and coming out of Woodbine, it's a slightly longer stretch. Even on the inner turf course, there could be a concern here. But I think he's improving at the right time and got the right rider in Flavien Prat.
Who are we forgetting? Should we mention North Coast in here, Rishi? We haven't touched on Joseph O'Brien's runner. What are the positives for him?
No, well, the fact that he's an O'Brien is also a huge positive. Well, when you consider we came here at the start of the week thinking Aiden might win the 3 turf races today and then break his record for Group and Grade 1 wins tomorrow. Donica's had a winner. Aiden's yet to get off the mark. I think North Coast was an unlikely one, if I'm entirely honest, looking at his very best form. His 2 wins in Ireland this season are good, but they're not high class. And last time out, he took on Group 1 company, the best Group 1 company, but he wasn't good enough to finish close enough to Stad, who was behind Zavateri in that race. So he's got a bit of ground to make up. Just on his European form, unless he's better on the ground. I do believe the ground will be more suitable than it was last time in Ireland.
I'll give you the dreaded post position.
Okay, we're doing a 10-cent superfecta. We're using the 6, 10, and 14 on top, with the horses underneath, the 6, 10, the 14, the 5, 9, and 12. 6, 10, and 14 to win. Second, third, and fourth. 6, 10, and 14 with the 5, 9, and 12. The 5, 9, and 12 are deep closers, and this is a deep closer friendly race. I'm hoping the 6, 10, the 14 are somewhere in the 1st through 4th. First, and then maybe spread out through 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and then we're going to get one of those deep closers, 5, 9, and 12 in there. They're all should pay really good, especially if we can get the 10 to win. So let's see what happens here. Good luck, everybody.
Ardesia is in the gate. Let's be frank, the next one. There's Turf Star and Gordon Pass. North Coast is in. Botas waiting for Heinene and Stad. Stad stepping forward to the outside stall. They're all in line, and we're ready for the start. They're off in the juvenile turf. Stad missed the break a bit there. He did not have a good beginning. Hey, Nene, showing early speed. Street Beast is 2, and between them it's Outfielder. It's these 3, and oh, they're flying. These 3 have opened up 4 on the rest of the field. Stark Contrast away running in 4th, moving for that turn. Then Third Beer to the outside. Turf Star, North Coast, and Gordon Pass are next. And then Stad, who did not come out of the gate all that quickly. He's 10 lengths behind at this stage. Botas is next, and then Ardisia, followed by Let's Be Frank, and the trailer is Here's Johnny. That first quarter was 22.2 seconds. Outfielder and Heinene battling it out up front to half length behind. They've opened up 4 on Street Beast, who's been taken back off the pace now to sit 3rd. Stark Contrast is 4th, Turf Star 5th on the outside. Then it's Third Beer, Gordon Pass, and Stad is steadily gaining ground to the outside of them. Stad is now within 6 lengths of the lead as they make their way into the far turn. So it's the top 2 still. Outfielder on the inside, and Heinene on the outside. They've got 2 lengths on Stark Contrast, who's cut into the gap, and right to the outside is Street Beast. Stad is in 5th, moving wide on the turn, but still well in contention here under Christophe Soumillon. And here comes Stad, moving up quickly on the far outside. They're into the stretch, and Stad has forged to the front with 1 furlong to run. He's taken charge from Heinene. Stark Contrast is next, and then Street Beast. But no doubt about who the best is. It is Stad in the juvenile turf. Stark Contrast was 2nd. North Coast was 3rd. Then Street Beast.
Make it 8 victories in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Turf for Aidan O'Brien. Stad from the outside post against all odds. He gets it done today.
Post 14, 1 for 15 the last 5 years.
That's a massively impressive performance from Stad. I thought he had a horror trip going into the first bend because I think Christophe Soumillon wanted to be more prominent than he was. Then he was stuck wide. Something kept him hung up 3 out wide going into that bend. Yet this was, watch this from the gate. So he tries to follow Heinene Never, and then he can't get in close enough to him. And in the end, he's hung up out wide here, Joe.
Yeah, now I think what helped him too in the end was you could see these 3 horses going out there really quick with Outfielder and then Heinene hooking up. They did slow it down a little bit down the backside, but yeah, you could see the winner side. It's about 3 wide right there, but still from that 14 post, that's a very, very impressive effort.
If you watch him out of the gate, and it's something I mentioned on our racing coverage day in, day out, the inside post is bad. Sometimes the far outside, when you don't have a horse drawn to the outside, a horse will veer to the right. If you watch the start again, he drifts to the right. It costs himself maybe a length and a half of where he could have been tactically a little more forward. And I think that was the difference, especially going into that first turn. I thought Christophe Soumillon did a great job to come from post 14 to only be 3 wide around the turn. He's not getting cover here. He's seeing daylight. And you can see he's just picking horses off one by one down the backside.
I mean, he's just clearly a very good horse, as we've seen. Yeah. But the trip that he's had and the official winning margin does not emphasize his superiority over this field whatsoever.
Right. But I tell you what, when you're on the best horse, I'd rather have this trip than the ground-saving trip with the potential of traffic and horses coming back into. I mean, look what would have happened if he'd hugged the inside. Maybe he follows the 8, but he gets a clean trip here. There's no excuses. When you're on the best horse, you can give up ground and get away with it.
And not only giving up ground, this was another test at 2 turns today. Had never been 2 turns before, stretching out from 2 7/8 races, but very, very impressive from that post.
The 7/8 in Newmarket to me is a harder 7/8 than a US mark because it's uphill, right? The last part.
It is.
You
it's
go
a
into
very
the dip.
stiff 7 furlong.
Yeah, this is a piece of cake compared to 7/8.
It is a piece of cake, but can you imagine asking a horse to run the way he's done around this field? I mean, that's a huge performance.
Yep.
I'm extremely impressed. I said before the race, I think he's a high-class horse, but I didn't think he was this good.
This is also, I mean, looking at all of his replays, he looks good in every race. Top class competition, 2nd in 3 Group 1s coming into the day today. But looking at the way he skipped over this course, he was absolutely loving it out there. You could have sent him around again.
He looks like he's built for America to me. I mean, yeah.
like you, Simon.
Yeah, exactly. What happened to me when I came here? No, he slotted right into American racing. You know, he took the turns well. He got great. He covered it. He crossed and cleared, got in, accelerated nicely. The 8 ran well, start contrast. And then Joseph, the pupil and the master, finishes third here.
I think the ground hugely in favour. As Stad floated over the ground, didn't he?
Yeah.
He seemed to love this quick ground. The third horse definitely appreciated the better ground. I'll be surprised if in this interview, when Aidan speaks about Stad, he doesn't mention a horse called Albert Einstein, who is his top 2-year-old, or the best horse I think he's got amongst his juveniles. And he says, you know, he's
the most intelligent horse he's got. Einstein.
It's a good one, Simon.
Save the dad jokes for later.
Sorry, it's been a long day, Rishi. You walked right into that one.
Shot home on top and very impressive at 6-5. Kazushi Kimura rode a beautiful race, sitting back off that early pace. He actually sat in the perfect spot, I thought, with his runner start contrast from Michael McCarthy. That strong late pace figure coming into the day. He gets second after diving through along the inside. You mentioned North Coast in 3rd Street Beast. Off a demanding.
I got burned with stark contrast. My stats said no California prepper had ever finished in the exacta. I didn't use them, and it cost me big time. 50 to 1. 8, 50 to 1. So it's going to be a nice superfecta. But that's the way it goes. I had a fairly decent day. This is what it's to pay. Let's see what the super paid, the 10-cent super paid. My guess is it's probably $1,200 at least. Oh, it's only paid $333, so I don't feel so bad. $333 for 10-cent super, 14,862. The super high five for 50 cents pays 14,000. That's a nice hit. I don't feel so bad now that I've only paid $333, but that's it. We will be back tomorrow. I don't know if we're going to be here for the whole show, but we have the whole show scheduled. A lot of good races tomorrow. We'll be on for the start right about noon. I think it's going to be about 10 minutes to noon Pacific time, so 11:50 Pacific time. And we have three different segments of the show. We're going to take little breaks in between some of the races. I think we're going to do 3 races at a time, but that's it for Future Fridays Breeders' Cup. We had a couple nice hits, and that's it. I was hoping for a better outcome, but that's the way it goes. Maybe tomorrow we'll do something better. So hopefully we'll see you tomorrow. Thanks for joining, and take care.